Snarf Castle.
Snarf Castle.
That's
now,
what we're
huh?
calling it. Snarf Castle.
All right, we're in the castle tonight.
A little later than normal. Sorry, I was busy running Jerry's children around as he was just doing nothing.
Sitting here, just waiting for him to.
He was
run my
literally
children.
sitting here doing nothing as I was running his child back to his house.
Yep. And I had no part in setting any of that up, and neither did you.
Nope. I just do. I do is what I'm told.
Yes, as do I, and I wasn't told to do anything. So here I am, podcasting.
Here I am. Every now and then I dig it. That's not how it goes.
Nope. No, that's not it
Turn
at all.
around.
Yes. Turn around. Take Jerry's kids all over the county because he's too lazy to do it.
I am getting my about full up on all of the activities that are constantly running our children around to.
Your bucket's full, huh?
I'm talking dance. I'm talking piano lessons. I'm talking basketball. I'm talking tumbling. I'm talking open gym.
Oh, that's why we don't allow our kids to do anything. We tell them, listen up. You can sit in your room, and that's it.
But you got baseball coming up.
Yeah, and Grady does basketball.
Grady's in basketball.
But that's it. Like, we don't do dance or tumbling, that's for sure.
Well, did you get your
stimulus?
baseball
No, I didn't.
assignments? Do you know your team?
Yeah, I'm on Keith's team.
Oh, I think Cash is too.
Is he?
Yeah.
I bet you Bryce is.
I bet she is.
Yeah.
We probably should be talking about. This isn't public knowledge yet, you know.
Oh, it's not?
Everybody in the world
coaches reach
listens.
out. Yeah, everybody in the world. I would figure the coaches reach out and tell the people who's on their team, right?
I don't know. I mean, I
have to
am
at some
coaching
point.
a team, and I did let my team members know.
You're coaching a Pinto team, right?
T-ball.
Oh, T-ball. You're not doing a Pinto team?
No.
I thought you was.
I just told you that Cash got moved up.
You're right. That's true. You did say that.
Hey, guys,
So that makes sense.
if you're listening on Facebook or YouTube, here's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the share button and the like button so you can promote our podcast to the world.
To the entire freaking world.
Passport to the world. Did you ever play that game when you were a kid?
Passport to the world?
It's
No.
called Passport to the World. It was a board game, but it had a little electronic device that asked you trivia questions. And the game was a map of the world. And there were these little airplanes. Those were the little guys. And you had to fly around the world to each country and hit the button, and it would ask you a series of trivia questions. And you had to get them all right to get the passport stamped for that country.
That sounds like a great game.
It was an awesome game. And the little voice on there said, "Welcome to Passport to the World."
Wow.
And they didn't call it Australia. This jumps out at me. They called it
What?
Oceania.
Really? Isn't it?
That's actually maybe the name of the continent is Oceania, but they said Oceania.
I think it is called something different between, because Australia and New Zealand are on the same.
Right, because they're in the same continent. So you can't call it Australia because there's New Zealand.
Well, they're not the same
And
continent.
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea.
And there's other countries on there that aren't countries anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was an old game.
Czechoslovakia,
Yeah.
Czech Republic,
Yeah.
the
So, yeah.
Democratic.
They are in the same continent, New Zealand and Australia.
No, they're on the same, like, what are those called? Oh, shoot, like tectonic plate.
We need
They're on the
game
same
Passport
plate
to teach us.
But they're two separate things. Australia is its own continent. New Zealand is just like over here. It's like
What
an
continent
island.
is it part of then? It's got to be, everything is a part of a continent, and that continent is Oceania
Okay.
with Australia.
Yeah, but that's, so like.
They're part of the same continent.
I always thought Australia was its own continent.
It's literally those two countries,
That's it.
New Zealand and like maybe New Guinea. That's part of it, right? They're like
I have no
attached.
idea.
I don't know. That and Australia are the only two. And
So a
that's
continent
Oceania.
So a continent is basically like that plate of the earth, right?
Sure.
Tectonic plate.
Is that how continents are divided, by tectonic plate?
I think so. It's got to be. It's the crust of the earth that it's sitting on.
I don't know.
It's the land mass that
We're-
even is under the water.
In the future, should have been in your top 10 board games, Craig said. Yeah, you're right.
You're right. I didn't even know it was a thing, but it sounds really great.
Yeah, but hit that like or share button. That would help us out greatly. Also, you can check out patreon.com And
I have a Patreon that I need to put out that I completely forgot about.
yeah, patreon.com/snarfcomics, and you can help support the show and have a lot of fun with us.
There's
Guys,
a lot of funny things on
One
there.
big thing is happening tonight, and that's the beginning of Snarf Madness!
Snarf Madness.
Snarf Madness 2021 is upon us, and we're going to give a last chance. This is the last chance.
Last chance. If you're listening to this episode, stop
listening
and fill out a bracket.
Spoilers forward. Honor system.
Yeah.
You can't listen to the podcast and then fill out your bracket.
No, that's cheating.
We will let you get a late entry in. Maybe take a picture of yourself holding your filled out bracket with a timestamp that predates 8:25 p.m.
Yeah.
or 8.
That's a good idea.
25 p.m. on Thursday, March 25th.
25th.
So stop the podcast, fill out your bracket, come on back, see how you did immediately. It's like immediate results.
You will find out at least one side of the first round.
Yeah, we're going to do the left side of the bracket, the first round, so the East and the West. East meets West.
East meets St. Louis.
Right here.
The arch.
Yeah.
That's what that symbolizes.
The great beyond, like the West, the gateway to the West. They call it that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
See, I know
You
what I'm talking
know,
about.
you know.
I played Passport to the World.
You did.
That was one of the
and that was
trivia
probably
questions.
one of the questions. I'm sure it was when you landed in North America. No, I guess it just.
I mean,
it's
it
countries,
was
right?
so dated. The questions, the countries. I mean, they were just like, the questions would be like, these filthy people are from this country.
It's like this country only eats potatoes. The Irish, of course.
Yeah, it was basically like Passport to Racism.
That's great. Well, you can't play that in 2021. I can tell you that.
Was that a Wild Wild West reference? Like
Wiki Wild,
Wild Wild
Wiki
West.
Wild, Wiki Wild Wild West, James West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want none of this. Six gun in this.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Do you think that movie is as bad as we all remember it being?
No, I have never thought it was bad.
Because it got wildly shit on.
I loved. Well, I was young when that came out, so I loved it forever.
Little gadgets, had a lot of gadgets.
And the big spider thing.
Kind of steampunky.
We've said this before. I know we have about this
I
movie.
don't think so.
Because yes, it is very steampunky.
So we're going to do our Snarf Madness. We're going to do it right at the top every week from now on till it's over. We are going to do first things first. We're going to do our Snarf Madness picks. This one's going to take probably a little bit of time.
It is.
As we get further on, they'll take less and less time.
And by the way, Sean, I do need a J Farms hat.
Danny Bennett said, unless you were a senator 120 years ago.
He's referencing Joe Biden's press conference today.
What does that have to do with being a senator 120 years ago?
I have no idea. I think he's just saying it because it was a hot topic about Joe Biden's press conference because he said he was a senator 120 years ago.
He did.
Yes. He was talking about filibusters, and then he says, when I was a senator 120 years ago.
He like making a joke.
Not in the slightest.
Did he backtrack that at all?
Nope.
Just kept
He
on
didn't
rolling.
circle around and
Just kept rolling right
Yeah, he
on
just
through,
kept
like
going.
steam. Some people don't do words great.
yeah.
That's it.
That's
all
true.
It doesn't have to be more than that,
No, you're right. It's true.
but
you know
it could
who,
be more than that.
Yeah. You know who do words great?
Who?
Us.
Oh, yeah, we do. I could be president.
I does do words great.
I could be president of Snarf.
Well, I mean, co-president.
Yeah, we don't have to have the same title. You could be like,
Master.
I mean, you can't use that word. First
Why?
off.
I'm a lockmaster. I can say that.
That's not government
I
sanctioned.
can say that. That's what I'm called.
You could be like the president of the board of directors, and I could be like the president, the CEO. How about that? Or you could be the COO or the CFO.
I want nothing to do with financials. Nothing.
You got my bracket. He did waste some government time doing it. Craig's got it.
Ooh, yeah.
Dirk is joined us now, but he did not fill out a bracket. So
No.
Stop the podcast, Dirk. Fill out your bracket. It's at snarftalk.com/madness.
Get it done, man.
And then you can come back, and we'll give you the good graces of our trust
That you're not
that
cheating.
you're not cheating.
If you're my true spirit animal, you will fill out a bracket and get it done.
Yeah, and why
now.
not? It costs you nothing, and you get to make money if you win.
Yeah, exactly. You can
Sometimes
literally
people
just
win
throw
that
answers
just
down.
guess.
Yes, absolutely. I win it. I've won at life, and I just keep guessing at what to do next. That's what I do as an adult.
Which direction do I go now?
That's what all adults do.
Flip a coin. Not me. I
Nobody
make every
knows.
decision. I know everything.
You think you do.
No, everything in my life is very well thought out.
It's not true.
I spend lots of time thinking,
Contemplating.
commiserating.
Other aidings.
Yeah, all the aidings.
Then where's it gotten you?
Right here in this chair.
Yeah, it's done very well for you, I guess.
Co-president of a wildly successful podcast.
That's true. You're
because
doing
we
it.
couldn't agree on a different title. All right. Should we get it started?
Yeah, man. Round 1. Round half of Snarf Madness.
Okay, Dirk said,
2021.
I'm sorry I'm not much of a gamer or gambler. It's not gambling because it costs you no money.
No, it's
That's
not
like
gambling.
a sweepstakes, right?
It's not really a sweepstakes.
Sweepstakes don't cost money to enter, right?
It's just a contest.
It's a contest
Yeah.
of champions.
We're all champions.
And you
in this
don't even need to
contest.
be a gamer.
No. I mean, my wife is probably going to fill out a bracket, which she hasn't yet. I'm going to just force her to.
And it doesn't matter because she doesn't listen to podcasts. So.
No, not in the slightest. And she's going to fill it out, and we're going to see if she wins something.
Yeah, she can't win.
Why?
She cannot win.
What if she did?
That's a good question. What if she did? If she won my bracket, fair game. If she wins your bracket, no dice.
Okay, that's fair.
But I do trust she wouldn't. cheat.
She has no idea about video games or even the video games I like.
Right.
So, I mean, if she won, it's by pure chance.
Okay, so our wives are eligible to play.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because they're not cheaters.
They don't. My wife is not watching this right now or listening to the podcast when it comes out on Monday. She's not. I'm just letting you know.
Dirk said, as long as you don't get a ship crossways or your lock.
Yeah, that's a big problem right now too. The Suez Canal.
My ego can't handle the heckling that was promised with poor performance. That cost.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
We maybe over heckled last year, and good old Keith, he didn't return.
He didn't return. He got a trophy though.
He got a trophy. Yes, that cost real money. It was
I know.
gold plated.
Gold plated. It had his
Spray
name on
painted,
it.
Whatever.
It was a toilet bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a win.
I
for
feel
losing.
like that is that your ego wants a trophy, no matter if it's a bad one.
Yeah, and you want to be talked about. Like good. What do they say?
Brown gravy.
No, yeah, good brown gravy. Yes. No, like bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. No publicity is bad publicity, right?
Well, yeah, but like even bad comments are good because it puts your name out in the world. Like, you know what I mean? People see.
It feeds your ego.
Yeah, it feeds your ego, and it also
So your
brings
ego
people,
can handle it.
So he's gotten probably a lot more friends because of his loserish, nature. Like it's just his nature to lose at contests. Dirk, I feel like we could make you a celebrity
Yeah.
for
We can
losing.
make you a winner
Finally.
for losing.
Yeah, right.
You could be the winner of the losers. All right.
All right. First one.
Bush latte. That's right. Somehow somebody convinced me to drink it.
I didn't convince anything.
No, we just ran out of everything else, and I didn't want to run to Casey's. And Jerry just at all times has a 30 rack on him.
In the garage.
Yep.
Garage fridge.
No such thing as bad publicity. That's the quote.
Yes. There you go.
See? Fact checker.
I knew that. Who was that? Nolan?
Sean.
Oh, I figured it'd be
No,
Nolan.
I don't know. I don't think Nolan's in here.
Come on, Nolan. We got your bracket, buddy. Okay, we're going to do round 1. We're starting in the East. It's the top left corner.
And we obviously, we don't just do our picks. We got to discuss.
Of course.
We got to do all that.
Everything's going to be discussed. But we haven't done any picks yet.
No.
You haven't made a choice yet. Neither have I.
I'm picking on the fly.
That's what I'm doing.
So there can be no cheating in my bracket because I'm picking them right now.
I am too. Who wants to go first, you or me? You always go first.
Okay, first matchup. Round 1 in the East bracket is Crash Bandicoot versus GoldenEye.
Wow, what a matchup.
What a matchup. So I am a fan of both.
I am too.
franchises, actually. I've spent probably way more time actually playing Crash Bandicoot than
I bet you I have too.
I played a lot of Crash Bandicoot
And
back in the day.
I have Crash Bandicoot on my Xbox right now.
Really?
It's a downloadable game, and the boys have played it a lot.
I did play it recently on PlayStation. Somebody had downloaded it, or there's a new version on the PS3
Yeah, and there is on
or PS4. I mean,
Xbox One.
I don't have it, but I played it at somebody else's house. Didn't hold up for me upon replaying. It's just not the type of game I enjoy now.
I agree.
Like those type of running, temple run, that stuff. I don't like that.
I loved it as a kid, though.
Did like it as a kid.
Man, did I play the crap
you
out of it.
Lose some time in it. So,
and I tell you what, this is the one game that Amy absolutely adores.
And it's the best of the genre.
I would agree.
And the genre being games where people are running away from you.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
But it is a fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. I've played it more than I played GoldenEye. I've also played GoldenEye quite a bit.
I've played GoldenEye a lot.
I never had it. Never had an N64. Never owned the game.
Didn't?
But I played it at friends' houses. Obviously.
I did not know you didn't have an N64.
Nope, didn't. No, I was a Sega Genesis guy.
Wow. Yep. I don't even know who you are anymore.
I know. It was an either or.
But you were on the.
Oh, actually, by the time N64 came out, PlayStation was out, right?
No.
The original?
I don't think so.
Because Sega was the comparable to Super Nintendo in the early 90s. And then N64, the comparable to that would have been PlayStation. There was no Sega.
I don't remember PlayStation being out. I only had the 64 until PlayStation. The PlayStation 1. No, I swapped out my Nintendo 64 for a PlayStation when it came out.
PlayStation 1 came out in 1995.
Okay.
And N64 came out in 1996. PlayStation came out first.
I didn't even know that PlayStation existed until I got it wasn't a PS2. It was just PlayStation.
Yeah, I had a PlayStation instead of an N64, basically, is what happened with that situation. I think Crash Bandicoot actually came to PlayStation after, I think that's where it was, right? That's where you played it.
Yes.
On PlayStation.
Yes.
Anyway, long way of saying that GameCube was the cat's meow. Hey, Vic. My pick on this one is going to be GoldenEye.
You're picking GoldenEye over Crash Bandicoot.
I played it a lot less than Crash Bandicoot in net time. However, as a game, I just enjoy. GoldenEye was probably definitely one of the first, that type of shooter. Not one of the first, because I had played Doom and other games like that, but of that quality. And then it was one of probably the earliest competitive, where you're playing against other people.
Yeah.
Games that I can remember, and it was a lot of fun. And it had lots of little
Listen,
things.
GoldenEye set a whole world up for people. It set a tone of game.
It changed gaming.
Yeah,
right?
It changed gaming in that day and age completely.
Oh my God.
You could have four people playing, and you pick your matches and play against each other, and you could select different weapons and have different things. This literally changed gaming to what we see in Call of Duty and all the
I think the
different type of
major
stuff.
change was the multiplayer.
The multiplayer facet of it,
Because
yes.
there was definitely other first-person shooters.
There was, but the multiplayer asset or portion of this game changed everything. It was so fun. I remember being at Andrew's house, and it would be me and Andrew and Greg and David, and we would play GoldenEye until our eyes bled.
Until the cows came home. Craig had a good point. Crash was part of the demo disc that PlayStation came with, and that's the first time I played it on that demo disc. I remember that. And Vic Rexroad is on this thing right here.
Yeah.
And that's where I played it. He had the game. He had the demo disc. There was a bunch of other games we played on that demo disc, but that was one of them. Anyway, GoldenEye.
That's cool.
David said members of the 2008 Fighting Illini basketball team were known to stop by our house on campus to play GoldenEye. We thought we were good. Calvin Brock destroyed us all. Well, at least he destroyed somebody in something. GoldenEye is the first and greatest multiplayer game ever. It created the world for Call of Duty, Fortnite, etc. It was not the first and not the only at the time, but it was a wildly popular one because it was on the Nintendo 64, which was a wildly popular console.
Yes.
There were PC games,
and that's
of course, that were also very popular at the time.
But I played the crap out of it, and I absolutely have to pick GoldenEye.
So we got a double GoldenEye winner
over Crash Bandicoot.
Our next one is Ultimate Strategy Odd Job Slappers Only. Yeah, Odd Job. I hated that dude.
I know. Nobody liked Odd Job.
Command and Conquer versus Quake.
Command and Conquer versus Quake. So
Interesting one for me for sure, because I did play both quite a bit. I'm a huge fan of the real-time strategy genre, which
Yes.
Command and Conquer is a part of. One of my favorite genres of games, bar none.
absolutely, I love it. I never played much Quake. I think I've played it one time in my life. So this is one that you picked. This is one of the picks that, we had to pick like one that I've played, one that you've played. This is the one that you've played.
I don't think this was part of that. Well, maybe.
No, I mean, I think I played it one time.
Okay.
So maybe it was not part of that, but I don't know. I haven't played it much.
For me, this one is very easy. It's Quake.
Really?
Yeah, I played a lot of Quake. Again, David had just mentioned like this GoldenEye setting the tone for multiplayer and that types of things. Quake, really, I don't know when one came out or the other, but Quake was very early on and extremely popular. Granted, in the PC genre mostly, but
and I was never a PC gamer guy.
Way ahead of its time. I mean, just a more mature, more in-depth game.
Well, I've never been mature. I don't even know if I've went through puberty yet, to be honest.
GoldenEye, License to Kill, pistols only, best ever. Stack proximity
Stacks
mines.
and prox mines, yeah. Proximity mines were my jam.
But no, Quake, I was a huge fan of that game, so I'm going Quake all day. I did like Command and Conquer. Not one of my favorite in the genre.
So no, it's not one of my favorite in the genre either, but I love Command and Conquer, and I like it a lot better than Quake because I didn't play Quake very much. So I have to go Command and Conquer, and here's where we start to differ.
Yeah. Quake came out in 1996.
Okay.
When did GoldenEye?
I was 9. You were what? Probably, 23?
Yeah, 1997. So Quake came out first. And I would say on the net, Quake has been a more popular game because it's still
I'm sure it is.
till today.
But listen up. I don't care about popular games, Chris. I care about what I like, and I don't care about what anybody else likes.
So Sean said Quake was exclusively a PC, wasn't it? Yes, I believe so, and that's where I played it. I played a lot of PC games.
See, and that's why I didn't ever really play it because we basically barely had a functioning computer my entire life.
Yeah,
growing up, we had satellite. That was great, but I didn't have a computer that was worth crap.
All right, so Jerry picks Command and Conquer. I pick Quake. My matchup on that will be GoldenEye versus Quake next week. Or not next week, in 2 weeks. So
dropping down, we go to Tomb Raider versus Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, Craig said Quake was PC and N64. I didn't know that.
The
one on PC had a 9 Inch Nails soundtrack. I do remember that.
Really?
Yeah.
I love 9 Inch Nails.
I know, me too.
Trent Reznor?
Tomb Raider and Grand Theft Auto. Is that our matchup?
Yes.
Here?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is another fun one for me, and not for the reason most people think. So I'm a huge Tomb Raider franchise fan, especially early on in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I played it on PC. I played it on PlayStation.
I had it exclusively for PlayStation, and I played it until that disc melted.
Yeah, loved that game. Grand Theft Auto, I've played not all the iterations, but a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I love the original Grand Theft Auto.
Like the very first one where it's above?
Yeah, where you're looking down.
Yes.
And I had that on my computer, and I played that game crazy amount of time.
They made that for PlayStation too. You could play it on PlayStation, and that's where I had that.
The cool thing about the one crazy story I got about that original Grand Theft Auto game, right? And there was a couple versions that were overhead like that. There was like 1 and 2.
Yep.
I think GTA 3 was the first one that was like a regular game, or like an open world game.
It had to have been because 1 and 2 were overhead. And I had both of them.
So I didn't play like originally when it came out. I think I was a little older. I might have been like young, like just in high school or something when I played the original. And I had this CD. Unbeknownst to me at the time, I had this CD that was like a thing I got like at Warped Tour. That had like a mix of like all these different punk bands on it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know, but it was in my computer, in the CD-ROM drive of my computer. And Grand Theft Auto was downloaded in my computer. But when I played the game, it had this soundtrack, and I'm like, this is a fucking amazing soundtrack to this game. I played that game for like years and never realized that.
You had a Warp Tour disc?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the game. But when you started the game, it would automatically play the music that was in the CD player.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you had a really cool soundtrack to a game that didn't ever exist.
And I love that soundtrack to this day. It's got some great songs.
It's not a soundtrack, though.
Well, it's
just
like a
CD.
compilation CD.
Yeah.
Like New Artist Compilation 1999.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Anyway, so I do like both of these games. Long story short, I'm going with Tomb Raider on this one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going with Tomb Raider because
I loved that. I loved Tomb Raider and shooting spiders.
I loved Tomb Raider, and again, to me, it felt like very much like a first of that like 3D.
Yeah.
It wasn't open world, of course, but I don't know that
I get it.
type of game.
It was like a better Pitfall.
I didn't see a lot better Pitfall. I didn't see a lot of that kind of thing. That was like the first. The Lara Croft Tomb Raider series was like the first of that. That I can really remember of that like 3D mapped world games.
I agree.
And it just stood out to me. Grand Theft Auto, as much as I like those original games, I was never like a huge fan of the later on Grand Theft Auto games like GTA 3, 4, 5.
5. I haven't ever played 5.
Never played 5.
And everybody loves 5. Like 5 is the gold standard for Grand Theft Auto games because
GTA
it's like,
5 is like considered one of the greatest games of all time.
Right. And I haven't
Never
ever played it yet. I am going to give this to Grand Theft Auto in my bracket because I played the crap out of Grand Theft Auto. I played the crap out of Tomb Raider too, and I did love Tomb Raider.
And David said GTA 3 changed gaming as well.
And
I would agree with that.
I would absolutely
agree. As far as
it really
an
did.
open world game, there were open world games before that, but
this was to a level we hadn't seen yet.
Yeah, and it was kind of a mixture of things that you could do in an open world platform, right? You could drive cars around.
Right.
You could do missions.
Steal cars. You could throw people on the ground.
You couldn't do anything like that.
There
were open
steal
world
money.
games. There were plenty of open world games, but
you could punch a hooker.
They were just kind of running around,
Yeah.
So.
And you had to work with mob bosses and do all sorts of things.
I did play Vice City, and Craig said love that soundtrack. I like the soundtracks for GTA. I played Vice City. I played
San Andreas.
I
wasn't a huge fan of San Andreas. Vice City was way better. GTA
I just never
3 was
really got
way better.
Vice City is the one I played the most.
Yeah.
But I never was just huge. It's not my favorite genre of games. And
okay. Well, can I have a pick and pick them? Can you quit tearing my picks down?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, you already picked.
Yeah, I know. You just keep tearing it down like as if my pick is.
I was just responding to comments.
Some bullshit.
I'm
so sick of your
it's called
attitude.
Fan service, Jerry.
Wait, you're doing a fan disservice to my picks.
You are a disservice to humanity.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. That's the winner in my bracket. And you picked Tomb Raider. Next, we go to Gran Turismo versus Batman Arkham games.
Another difficult matchup. So,
Gran
Turismo.
That's a silly thing to say, Chris.
Gran Turismo is probably, I would say, maybe my favorite racing game series.
I disagree.
I loved Gran Turismo for PlayStation.
It is very good. I played
the original
a lot of it.
PlayStation.
Used to play it over at Rory Ellis's house.
Really cool game. That customizing cars, that kind of stuff. Batman Arkham, I have literally played to completion every single game in the series. For me, this is an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah,
Batman
this is
Arkham
an absolute no-brainer for me.
Some of the best games. Yes, can they be a little repetitive? For sure.
For sure. But what you get to do in the games with Batman...
And some of them are better than others.
Gosh.
Like, I wasn't a huge fan of Arkham Asylum, the first one, because it was very limited.
It was, and it felt very linear.
They just got better and better and better every game. Arkham City was great, but then Arkham Origins was great. And then what was the other one? There was another one.
I thought there was only 3. Asylum, City, Origins, and... No, that was it. Maybe I'm wrong. Yes, this is a no-brainer.
Arkham Knight.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Which that wasn't one of my favorite ones.
It's obviously Batman. These games are awesome. They're super fun. There is a lot to do in them. Yeah, I'm going with Batman.
I've never played Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That is technically... Oh, that comes out in 2022. That's the new one in the series. It's not Batman, though. So
no. So for the first tier here. I guess that's what you call it, right? Like the first tier.
No,
in
we
the
still
East.
got one more.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like the
yeah.
top of the East. I have GoldenEye as a winner and Command and Conquer as a winner, and I have Grand Theft Auto and Batman.
I have GoldenEye, Quake, Tomb Raider, and Batman.
Okay. Next one in the East is Gears of War versus Halo.
Ooh. This is a tough matchup for me, for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't played the later Gears of War games. There's like, how many of them are there?
I think there's 4 or 5, isn't there? There's at least 4.
Let me look it up.
I had bought.
There's 4. Or
Yeah,
5.
Well,
I
that's
think
fine.
there's 5. Yeah, Gears 5 came out in 2019. Now, some of these later ones have been PlayStation exclusives, I believe, right?
I haven't played the later ones.
Yeah, I don't have a PlayStation. So I played the first couple, and I've played pretty much all the Halo games.
Yeah.
I'm not like a huge Halo fan.
No, you're not. I
And
know,
I'm
and it
also-
blew me away that you're not.
I'm also not like a huge Gears of War fan, especially in the early ones. I like both of them, but I'm going to have to go with the one like that also revolutionized gaming
Yes.
in a big way, and that was, and I never had an original Xbox. I was a PlayStation 2 guy.
Okay.
But Halo came out for that original Xbox when I was when I was in college. People had those, and we spent countless, unbelievable amounts of time playing multiplayer Halo.
Oh yeah.
It's an incredibly satisfying multiplayer game to play.
Yes.
In my opinion, maybe the best
It's
shooter multiplayer game you can play.
Yes, it's up there in top tier realm of shooter
Energy
multiplayer.
swords. You get to drive around the little tank deals.
Oh, there's so many different things you can drive around. Tanks,
Those little
warthogs,
scooter bike things.
ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So I'm definitely going to go with Halo on this one. I mean, I did play all the Halo games. Halo Reach, I don't remember liking that game much. And
you didn't, and I did.
Really?
It was a quick play.
It was a
and
quick
the-
game,
and there
yeah.
wasn't.
I played it all the way through.
There wasn't much for multiplayer with that game, really. They came out with it, and it was. There was multiplayer, I believe, but it was basically released as just like the storyline game. But I did have an original Xbox, and I got Halo right off the bat because my brother was playing it, and he's the one who told me about it. I have been a huge Halo fan for a very long time, so this is kind of a no-brainer for me. I played Gears of War, but once it went to PlayStation and wasn't a PlayStation exclusive, I mean, Halo took over my life for a long time. And when I deployed, we had actual, like, where they call, LAN parties where you have, like, hook up cords.
Yep.
And we were running cords from trailer to trailer to trailer playing Halo against a bunch of different people on our own screens and stuff. It was awesome.
And Sean says Energy Sword for the win. Agreed. That was my favorite weapon.
So
when you get them keyed in, and then you do the little dash thing
yeah.
when you had that sword. Love it.
So Craig said if you read the books, you'd hands down pick Halo.
Yeah.
I need to read these.
I've never
Remember
read-
the movie that came out?
Yeah, the animated
Yeah.
movies, yeah. And I used to love the series Red versus Blue.
Oh yeah. This is a no-brainer.
Well,
Halo is a clear
Halo
winner.
is a entire mythology, right?
It is.
And it's a huge story. They got comics,
and
they
that's
got books. they
why
got
it
everything.
blows me away that you haven't sunk it into this kind of stuff a little bit more.
I like the story. I do. I think I dropped off at like Gears 5 or not Gears, Halo 5. That was the last one that came out. Right?
Yeah.
We're waiting for the new one. I didn't play Halo 5 like at all. I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
I own it still. I just didn't put a lot of time into it. I just wasn't interested.
The Xbox I own right now was a Halo Reach
Really?
release for Xbox One. I got it all together as a bundle pack.
The Halo reach around.
Yes, sir. And it did its job.
So Halo for both of us. Halo for the win.
Yes. Next one, we have Spider-Man games versus Tekken.
Yeah. Okay. So, Spider-Man games, obviously, and we're going to do this sometimes. We're doing entire genres because we didn't want to pick specific games.
It would take up
Tekken
a
also
lot of the
has a
bracket.
ton of games,
Yeah,
so.
it would take up a lot of the bracket.
Spider-Man games go all the way back to original, Sega, Nintendo probably had some. I've played a lot of iterations. When I'm thinking about Spider-Man games, I'm thinking about like early 2000s the first like open world Spider-Man game for PS2, I believe, where you can live in an open world New York City swinging around.
Yes.
And it's an unbelievable game. I have not played the new PS4 Spider-Man game, or obviously the new Spider-Man Miles Morales game. I desperately want to play these games. I've heard nothing but amazing things about them. I'm going to buy a PS4 when they get a little bit cheaper just to play those games. But I did play Spider-Man. I think there was 2 and 3. And they're some of my favorite games. I absolutely love them because it's like comic book come to life. And all those little side stories and comic book stuff that a nerd that reads Spider-Man knows, but you don't see in the cartoons and the movies as much, is in there. They pack it all in there. These are incredible games. So,
and we know Spider-Man is one of your favorite characters of all time.
Absolutely. Tekken is a game I also enjoy, but mostly played in arcades, to be honest.
It's basically the only place. I know I played Tekken on PlayStation very early on, but it's not a game.
I've played it recently. I have an
emulator,
arcade emulator. It's got all the Tekken games on it. They're fun. As far as that style of fighting game, Tekken was way ahead of the curve. I mean, it was doing fluid fighting like in a better way than Mortal Kombat at the time.
It was, and Street Fighter.
And it looked amazing. But for me, this is a no-brainer. It's Spider-Man all day.
Yes, I am also going to go Spider-Man because a Tekken game, or even if you put up a Mortal Kombat, honestly, against a Spider-Man game, I don't think
it's his story versus, for sure.
I honestly...
Craig said Ultimate Spider-Man.
I haven't played...
Legit. I did play that game, too.
I haven't played a lot of Spider-Man. I did play Ultimate Spider-Man on the original Xbox. I played Spider-Man 2 and I think 3, but not to the extent that...
3 was like a huge leap forward.
Okay, maybe that's the one. Maybe I only played 3 then, because I don't know if I remember 2. I played one that was very... You could do like anything you want.
Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007. And it was Spider-Man, the first one was open world, and it was one of the first like open world games like that I can remember. Where you just literally go around the city. It was an amazing
and crawl around on buildings But
Spider-Man 3 was at a whole different level.
Okay, I played that. I played Spider-Man 3. I liked it a lot, but I never sunk a ton of time into it. Probably because of Halo. But I am going to put Spider-Man as the winner of this, easily over Tekken.
Perfect. Same matchups there for us. We're going to move on down. Tony Hawk, that's the franchise.
It is.
Versus Resident Evil franchise.
Resident Evil. To me, no brainer.
This is a hard one for me. I love both of these franchises.
Both very good, yeah.
I've spent an obscene amount of time playing Tony Hawk games. I mean, probably way more than Resident Evil.
Way more than even the Dave Mirra BMX.
I didn't play that. I played BMX Triple X.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You ever get that game?
No.
That's a fun game. So I played a lot of Tony Hawk. I absolutely love any game like that that's like skateboarding or snowboarding or BMX, any of that stuff, where you get to do... And that was open world. A lot of those later games were open world and amazing. Resident Evil is a franchise I've been playing forever. And that, going back to original PlayStation, I got to go with what made the biggest impression on me. And that's Resident Evil 2. That double disc PlayStation
I remember that
version. So creepy. I used to go to one of my friends' houses, and we would, our parents would be in the other room, and we'd be playing that game, all the lights shut off.
Yeah.
I played that game with Vic Rexroad. I've played every iteration. Maybe that was Resident Evil 3. It might have been 3. Anyway, I've played a lot of the iterations since then. Resident Evil 5 is an amazing game. I played that thing all the way through twice. I'm going with Resident Evil. I think that might be a bracket buster for people, but
it could be. I am not. I always was creeped out by Resident Evil. I'm not joking. I did not like the creepy, scary, like jump things.
I don't like the jump scares either, but
I don't like it at all. And that's all it did for me is basically scare me as a kid. So I didn't really play much of it after I realized, like, I don't need this in my life. Tony Hawk, I played for hours and hours and hours of my day, just doing kick flips and indie grinds out the wazoo. Okay, I was doing 900s before 900s were a thing. I was a professional Tony Hawker. That got me into fingerboarding. You know, like the little skateboards. I got big into that. Then I'd have little jumps. Like they even give you like a half pipe with them. I was like, I am really Tony Hawk now. So I have to give it to Tony Hawk. I have to say that these games were better in my life than what Resident Evil was. And now, as for actual gaming, yes, Resident Evil is a superior game.
I don't know. I think you're convincing me.
But
I might need to switch.
You can't. You made your pick.
Well, I can do whatever I want.
Oh, my gosh.
And also a whole movie series of good movies, too. The Resident Evil series. I love that.
Yeah, they made a whole big movie series.
Mia Jovovich.
Is that how you... Jovovich?
Mia Jovovich.
No, it's Jovovich.
It's not. It's Jovovich.
Stop it. I'm Russian. I know.
I'm going to stick with the Resident Evil series just because I can never... like having that early experience in your life, that was like my second exposure to that genre of game, which would be the what would you call it, like survival horror game.
Yeah.
The first one was a PC game. I would love to know if anybody remembers this game. It was called Alone in the Dark, and it was an early on PC game, and it was 3D graphics, and it was super freaky. 1992, and I probably had it in 1992, and that was the first survival horror game. Look it up sometime. Alone in the Dark. They've made newer ones since then, but the original, old blocky 3D graphics, scary, freaky, especially when you were 10 years old,
right?
But yeah, that I think it was Resident Evil 2. That was the double disc set, but it might have been 3. I'll never forget the first time playing that game. I was just blown away.
I remember that double disc set because I'm positive I had it.
I just never had seen anything like it. The graphics were amazing, but it was like that kind of far back view.
Yes.
And the jump scares obviously were terrible. The lack of ammunition. Resident Evil 5 is such a fun game. It's one of the I think it's the first game I've ever played that's an over-the-shoulder shooter. So it's not first person. It's not really third person. It's over the gun shoulder.
Yeah.
Kind of looking down. You can see his head and everything. They love to be sparse with ammunition in the Resident
that's
Evil.
what makes the game hard.
And it's so hard because of it. Yeah.
It's very hard.
But the graphics on Resident Evil 5 I believe that was a PS2 game. No, might have been an Xbox 360 game. I can't remember. The graphics I remember being like blown away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the time. So I'm gonna go with Resident Evil.
So the next one is really making my brain bleed. It is Tom Clancy games versus Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So we split up Star Wars a little bit. We have Star Wars games, but then we have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Can you explain why we did that?
I think we did it because they're just wildly different games, right? So there's the Star Wars games genre, Lucas Games, is such a huge genre. So I think we even have Star Wars flight simulators.
Or we have
and then
Rogue
we have
Squadron.
Star Wars games, and then we have Knights of the Old Republic. Also, I mean, Knights of the Old Republic is just so much different.
It's very different.
So when we're talking Tom Clancy games, I mean, any guys that are gamers are gonna know, but there's a huge, vast swath of games. So you got Ghost Recon series, Rainbow Six series,
Splinter Cell.
I mean, there's more. We're not even.
Yeah. There's
the Rainbow Six series, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, End War, Hawk X. I've never played that division. So the ones of those
that was with Apache helicopters, I think. Hawk.
Arcade flight video game.
Yeah.
So Rainbow Six is probably the one I've played the most.
Played a lot of Rainbow Six. I played a lot of Ghost Recon.
Squad based. The first squad based games I ever played, where you're like bossing your squad around and
a lot of Ghost Recon I played shocker. And Splinter Cell ruled my life for a long time. I've played every single Splinter Cell game, and I've read every single Splinter Cell book. So this is a problem.
Okay, so I love those games. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a completely different genre of game.
Yeah.
So it is like probably not. It's an older form of game where they have like the combat. It's almost like a RPG. It really kind of is an RPG.
It is.
A lot of text, a lot of reading, a lot of story heavy. Combat, completely different combat mechanisms. I don't know what to do. You're going to have to go on this one first because I don't know what I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
I played Rainbow Six series so much, like it's so fun.
This is the first one that is
like you can
really
pick up
hard.
a Tom Clancy game, or at least Rainbow Six, and just play it.
It's almost unfair in a way because we have the ability to think about multiple different games against one.
It's true. Well, there's more than one Knights of the Old Republic.
No, I know, but I mean, you have Knights of the Old Republic, but here you have Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell's different than the rest of them.
They're all different. I mean, they're all completely different.
And so
I think for me,
so because of that, I have to pick Tom Clancy games.
Okay.
It's crazy to think, and I think that's going to be a bracket buster for some people because when you think Star Wars, like Chris and Jerry are going to pick Star Wars over anything, right? I would normally think that too, but Splinter Cell, I love Splinter Cell. Sam Fisher, my man. I love the books. I've read all of the books, and I've played all the games from beginning to end. They are awesome. I love that you have to sneak around. It's almost like, shoot, why can't I think of the game with Snake? Shoot, I can't think of it. I'm sure it's on here. Anyway, you have to actually sneak around. You cannot just come in guns a-blazing. You have to come in and drop down
and thriller
snap people's necks and like knife someone and hide them over. And you have to physically hide the bodies because if you don't, then the guards are going to find them. I just was so invested in Splinter Cell, and I played a lot of Ghost Recon. I did play Rainbow Six, but not as much as those other two games.
See, for me, out of the three, like Rainbow Six was probably my pick. I'm going to go with...
I got to go to Tom Clancy.
I got to go with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic because of the story. Like, it's just such a great game. I actually have it. I got it. You can get that game on your phone now.
You can?
I haven't played it yet.
Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah, but I haven't played it yet.
I'm going to waste a lot of time at work doing that.
I'm going to go with Knights of the Old Republic just because I like that style of game.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to play. I like those kind of one person get lost in this game type. Those are my
I do
jam.
too.
You know what I mean?
I know.
That's it for me. So
I do too.
But this is a tough pick. Like I could easily go the other way too.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pick one.
And I did go the other way because that was the right decision.
Okay.
So we're done with the East. That finished up the East.
Craig said
bracket.
a Metal Gear. So
yeah, Metal Gear Solid with Snake.
That was my jam.
David said snakes. I don't know no snakes. I'm assuming that's a quote from something, but I don't know what it's from.
I don't know.
But it was kind of funny.
That takes the East is done.
East is done. Now we are heading into the West bracket. East has now met West. And the very first matchup is Doom versus Uncharted.
Yeah, for this one, this is super easy for me. I haven't played Uncharted. A lot of the Uncharted games, this is one that you picked. I understand that they're like some of the greatest games ever, apparently. But it doesn't really matter for me, even if it was the greatest game ever. Doom, that's my jam, man. I played the shit out of Doom when I was a kid. I, again, was a PC gamer. That was like the first, maybe second, first-person shooter game I can even remember. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Doom was before Dark Forces, but I can't remember. And then Wolfenstein. All three of those were in the same time frame.
Yeah, Wolfenstein, man. I played a lot of Wolfenstein.
So I played all three of those games like crazy. I played... it's just, for me, it's easy because I haven't played Uncharted, so Doom.
I have played both. I never played a lot of Doom because it was just, again, too dark and scary for me.
Home Alone.
But Uncharted, I played a lot of. I shouldn't say a lot. I have played it.
Isn't Tom Holland in the Uncharted movie coming
Yes,
out?
he was cast as Drake. Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake
is the main character. I did play this quite a bit. Didn't play much Doom, so I'm gonna go with Uncharted for sure.
There you go. I mean, Doom completely changed video games as an industry, but sure, pick Uncharted.
Yeah, I don't care about that. It sounds stupid.
Okay.
The next bracket. We have, man, this is a hard one. Civilization versus Far Cry. Two very wildly different games. Civilization is a game where you are literally creating.
It's an RTS. It's a real-time strategy game.
Right. And you're creating civilizations from like the Stone Age on up, right? Yeah. And working through the eras of Rome and whatever. Civ 5, like Sid Meier's Civ 5. Man, that's a great game. I have it on this computer right in front of me.
It's amazing.
And I put a lot of hours in
You can go from the Stone Age to like the far future.
Yes. And it's amazing. I had a really big problem with bathrooms when I was in the Roman era. Like, I just couldn't get their poop far enough away.
Yeah. It's the damn poop.
It was a problem. But then you have Far Cry. Oh my gosh, that game's so fun. You're off on this island and there's zombie things around, and
so I played
it's a fun game.
4 Far Cry games maybe. It's a very fun, bright first-person shooter.
Yeah, it is very bright because you're on this island. You're on an island that's like a tropical
super
island.
Easy for me. It's Civilization for me, easily, hands down, not even close. I am a huge fan of that franchise and a huge fan of that genre of game. Far Cry to me is a fun first-person shooter, and that's about where it lies.
It's
not
a little
my
bit
favorite
harder.
first-person shooter. It's not my least favorite. It's just another one.
Far Cry 5 is really fun.
I don't think I played 5.
Oh man,
Is that the newest one?
It is.
Yep, I never played it.
Far Cry 5 is really, really fun. It's like leaps and bounds better than the first one, and I loved the first one to death. Like, I played a lot of the original. I don't think I played 2 or 3 at all. I played a little bit of 4, but I basically went from Far Cry to Far Cry 5, and it was just blew me away.
I think I played mainly like the first one and then maybe the 4th one.
Okay.
But I don't think I played the 5th one. I could be wrong, though. Maybe I did.
But I think you swayed me with the Civ talk because it is my genre of game. It's like right up my alley. I love building these things and the strategy of it. And
you could lose a whole hours and hours and hours and hours.
A day.
Yeah, easily.
Like, I have lost days building cities and managing people, and trying to fix, restroom problems. It just or having my sanitation in the city a little bit better. I love it, and I have to pick Civilization.
There you go. All right, we moved on down this list, and we're going to go to Guitar Hero / Rock Band versus Legend of Zelda.
What the hell are these matchups, Chris? This is stupid.
I think we just want to remind everybody here that these were randomized, right? So we have no control over them.
We didn't pick. We settled on the randomization of these brackets, and we got a little bit of pushback from some people that it was bull crap and we should have never done it, and should have fixed that. Right now, I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah.
Again, this is an easy pick for you. I understand, but it isn't for me.
Oh, it's super easy for me. I love Rock Band and Guitar Hero for sure. I love rhythm games. I'm really good at them for some reason.
I felt like a rock star playing these games. I was the new up and coming guitar player of our era.
When we're talking about Civilization, spoken like a true member of the first family of Verona. He liked dealing with sanitation problems. I'm telling you what,
of course,
Verona had some serious sanitation issues back in the day.
Yeah, they did, and they got sued by the state and ended up having to put in an actual sanitation
But
system.
anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, was I talking?
I don't know. Here, it's my pick anyway. For me, I love those games, but it's just as a no-brainer. I'm a huge fan, huge fan, my entire life of the entire Legend of Zelda franchise. I've played every single game. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, specifically Ocarina of Time, but both of those games are two of the best games in the history of mankind. Ocarina of Time might be in the running for one of the greatest video games of all time. Amazing game. I love the original game for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't play any game from the original to probably Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is probably the first like open world 3D game I can think of. I'm sure there's others, but unbelievably fun game. And then I played like a lot of the little ones here and there, like, you know, for GameCube and other things. And then most recently I played Breath of Wild, which is a breathlessly beautiful game.
Really?
Unbelievably beautiful, fun, amazing game. Very hard. Legend of Zelda, easily, hands down. If anybody picked anything different, I'd punch you in the face. Jerry?
You might punch me in the face, Chris, because I have played Zelda, but I haven't played it to the lengths that you have. I've never played any of those games that you just talked about. Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild. What was the other one?
Majora's Mask.
Yep, never played that. I played like the original couple Zeldas, and they were really great and fun. And I understand that they have this place in the greatest game,
You
like
have
one of the
to
greatest games of all time.
Give some due to the contribution to gaming history, though. You can't just be like...
Why can't I pick the game that I played the most in a bracket of the games that we like?
Because it doesn't have to be just the games that you like. I look at everything. I look at the body of the work, all the game, how it relates to the world.
But think
Its
about
contribution.
But so the amount of hours don't count of how you played the game?
No, of course
Yes,
not.
it absolutely does. I played.
I just told you I played
countless
Tony Hawk
and
way more than
countless.
Resident Evil. I've played Crash Bandicoot
That's
way
how
more
you
than
want.
GoldenEye.
That's how you want to pick your bracket. The way I'm going to pick my bracket is like, I have invested so many hours into Guitar Hero, and it's just
If you
unbelievable.
pick that game, I lose all respect for you.
I don't care. I'm picking Guitar Hero and Rock Band because I have played the crap out of it. I love it. If I still had it, which I don't, I would play it way more than Zelda.
This is an embarrassment.
It's not. This is.
an
I told you
embarrassment
my bracket was going
to
to
the
be
podcast. It's
so
an
wildly
embarrassment
different than you.
To video game history, it's an embarrassment to everything that...
It's not. It's an
the
upset.
good,
It's an upset that
real
normally
people-
happens in brackets. Like sometimes you have a 16 seed beat a 1. It's rare, but sometimes you do.
What a joke, folks.
Right? And that's what I'm picking.
I
Guitar Hero.
do like... I liked Rock Band better than Guitar Hero, by the way.
I don't, but I liked Rock Band because it had drums and you could play bass. I loved the drum set. That was really fun. Made me feel like a real drummer.
Short-lived novelty game that isn't even made anymore because there wasn't enough interest to continue making it. But it's better than probably one of the best game franchises in the history of...
Yeah, I mean, I would still buy it if it was coming out. It's not my fault they canceled it.
They canceled it because nobody cares about it.
I do.
Get Beat Saber then. It's the same thing.
Well, I don't have an Oculus.
Well, that's your fault.
I played the crap out of Beat Saber, by the way, to the point of exhaustion and had to quit. I had to like set your
You
Oculus
can have the
down.
same experience on your phone with one of those like touch
No,
games.
you can't.
Yes, you
It's
can.
not the same experience.
Same
You're an
experience.
idiot.
Next matchup, another doozy, folks.
Wow.
Call of Duty versus Madden, the Madden franchise. Now here's a situation.
This is a predicament.
Where I have spent infinitely more time playing Madden than Call of Duty. I mean, I can't even quantify how much more time I've spent playing Madden. It's probably, of all games, maybe what I've spent the most time playing out of any game.
Well, you can't pick by that.
I'm not going to pick by that, Jerry. I'm
better
going to
not.
look at the depth and the breadth.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. I honestly think
Craig
I
said
played.
not to brag, but I out-guitared Tom Morello and Slash. I want you to know that Tom Morello is from
Yeah.
Marseilles, Illinois.
No, he's
and
not.
his aunt was our English teacher,
Who?
Mrs. McKetta.
No way.
Yep.
Why did I never know this? Are you serious?
That's aunt, cousin, some relation there.
I'm looking this up.
Little
I got
Tommy, she called him. Little Tommy.
Little Tommy Morello.
I don't think he ever lived in Marseilles, but his family's from Marseilles.
And she knows him.
Yeah, she knows him. She definitely knows him.
That's wild.
And he's one of the greatest guitar players of all time.
I agree with you.
Anyway, Call of Duty, Madden. So it's my pick, so we're going to talk about me. I've also played a lot of Call of Duty, a lot. I played it online. I prefer the single. I like the single player storyline on most of them that have them.
Of course you would.
Not all
it's
of them have
because
them.
you're.
The online,
weird.
I don't like to play anymore. I'm not good enough.
I know.
I'm not smart enough. And
Doggone it.
People don't
Like
like me
you.
in there. I'm going with Madden all day because I've played so much Madden. I love something about football as a video game. It works so well. It's the best sport.
I know it.
It's building the teams, and I love it. Now, I
This
haven't
is a
played
pick-
Madden in a long time, but it is the greatest game to play with your buddies. But so is Call of Duty. But playing Madden with your friend, because it's only really good with. I know later
One other
on you
people.
could have more people. But,
Yeah.
getting into a heated Madden battle
I know.
is amazing. So I'm going with Madden because
But I feel the same way about Call of Duty.
when you're winning and it's right at the end and they throw a bomb and you pulled coverage to rush.
Da bomb. Isn't that one of the plays? Wasn't there a play like early on in Madden called Da bomb?
I don't know.
Well, I feel the exact same way as you, but I did this with both games. I spent countless hours playing Madden. I spent countless hours playing Call of Duty, and I've done it with other people a lot of those hours, like with friends, you know? So I've played Madden against David. I've played Madden against many different people, but then I've played Call of Duty. I'd get off my afternoon shift and come home, and Nate, my assistant right now at the lock, and David Timmons, who was here, we would like get on at 11 o'clock at night and play until 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I used
with
to
our
play with
headsets.
Ian
and I played with Ian a ton, and Ryan Anderson,
Ryan,
and
yep.
like all of these guys I'd play Call of Duty with all the time. And you,
Yeah,
I think
and
we played before.
Yep.
But
I just sucked at it, but
so I wasn't very good either, but I just loved it.
I'd get like 3 kills in like a round, and then somebody
I'd
would have
get
like
pretty
22. I'm like, what?
Sometimes I do pretty well. Sometimes I did terribly. But like you said, I haven't.
Still very fun.
I haven't like followed the game much since I've had kids, and I just got a Call of Duty game not too long ago, like a year ago, and tried to play it, Warzone. And man, I'm not good. Not good at it at all anymore. It's still very fun, but it's not at the level it was before. I honestly don't know what
I
to
think
pick
the
here.
last one I played was when they added where you could do like supply drops, and then eventually you could like run drones, and you could get like bombings. I think that might have been Black Ops.
There was Black Ops. Yeah, Black Ops came. So there was Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. After Modern Warfare 2 is when Black Ops
That's the
came
game
out.
I'm thinking of. Black Ops. I played quite a bit of Black Ops.
And then from Black Ops, it went to Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. Just so much. And
I had Madden going back to Sega Genesis, man. I played every version that you can play.
this is hard, and it's making for poor podcast material, but I honestly don't know what to pick between these two.
Got to go with your gut, as Madden would say.
I'm going to go Call of Duty.
Ooh, okay. I figured you'd go with Call of Duty.
You know, a lot of people probably did.
You're a military guy.
I am. But man, I love Madden so much. Guys, I don't want to make this pick. I don't want either one of them to not be out of the first round. I want Madden to be in the second round. I have to pick Call of Duty because I just love it.
All right, there you go. Our next one, because we're going to move. Well, I guess we're only an hour. Our next one is Medal of Honor versus Sim Games.
Sim Games.
Not really fair comparison because there's so many
Yeah,
sim games.
there's a lot.
So, Medal of Honor is a series I have not played for a long time, but I did play the hell out of it at one time.
Yeah, it was only around for a short amount of time. It really wasn't around as long as like Call of Duty and whatnot.
No, there's a lot of them. So I played the original.
But what was the last one?
Was
that
the
came
original
out?
Medal of Honor the World War II one?
Yes, all of them. The first like 5 were the World War II games.
It's literally one came out this year, Above and Beyond.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I have played a handful of them. I've played Medal of Honor. I think I played Frontline. I know I played Rising Sun. That was the one in Japan.
Yep.
I played Pacific Assault, I think. Medal of Honor Heroes. I know I played that. Vanguard. I know I played that. The new Medal of Honor I did in 2010. So I played quite a bit of them. I love them. I absolutely love that franchise. There is nothing like strapping on World War II weapons and going and killing Nazis.
I know.
Nothing.
Blowing up rail guns.
That beats Call of Duty all day long. I'd pick Medal of Honor over Call of Duty.
I would too, to be honest.
Love it. Sim games. That's my jam, man. That's my franchise of games. I love them. That type of game.
Really?
I do not like The Sims. I'm just put that out there. I'm not a fan of The Sims. All right. But when I think of sim games, I think of SimCity 2000, which I
never even thought about that.
tons of time playing SimCity. Probably more than Civilization. Sim Farm.
Yeah, there was Sim Farm.
So much time playing Sim Farm. Back in the day, that was like early 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Sim Ant. Played a lot of Sim
I
Ant.
never played that. I should have.
I love those games, but now I thought this was going to be an easy pick, but now I'm backtracking because I'm thinking about carrying around an M1 Grand and just plugging Nazis from.
Yeah, and you had to get like the dossier from
And the
this
sound
person
when it
and
ejected the clip.
ping. Yeah. I'm going to pick Medal of Honor. This isn't hard for me. I played sim games, but I wasn't never a big computer gamer, and like growing up, it was all computer games for the Sims.
This is pure, for me, this is pure nostalgia versus like more modern gaming.
Yeah.
Because the nostalgia as a little kid of playing Sim Farm and Sim Ant.
I never played Sim Ant. I played a lot of Sim.
You built an ant colony and you had to get like across.
That sounds fun.
And you had to build.
I would do that.
You would fight like spiders and caterpillars, and if the lawnmower came,
you had to
could
get
go
underground.
to the overview map, and if the lawnmower was coming, he was in different parts of the yard. It's a great game.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Only ever played it at my aunt's house.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Sim Ant at your aunt's house.
Yeah. She had a Mac. The only person I ever knew that had a Mac computer.
You don't know me?
Like back then.
Oh, all right.
Other than like everybody in the 80s, but I just mean like in the 90s,
Right.
So yeah, boy. And then SimCity 2000, I spent forever playing
I did play SimCity 2000 quite a bit. The SimCity games are obviously far better than just the Sims,
I don't like the Sims.
I played
it
The
quite a
Sims,
bit. I never liked it that much. You know what? Originally, I thought this was an absolute no-brainer. I laughed about this pick because I'm like, SimCity is going to make it to the end of this bracket.
Right.
It's not. Medal of Honor is going to take it for me.
Really?
Yep. Just because.
Well, that surprises me.
Just because
That
it's a really good first-person shooter. And I'm not a huge first-person shooter fan. All right? But it's a good one.
It was just so fun.
Wiring up those C4 explosives. And
yeah. Blowing bridges, killing Nazis, taking down planes, blowing up rail cars.
It was fun.
Oh, my gosh. It was so great.
And relatively easy, but...
It was, but it was a lengthy storyline.
Yeah,
like
it was a good storyline.
Yeah. It was great.
And SimCity, the sim games are fun, but again, once
There's
you
just
get
nothing to them.
Yeah, it's not deep. I didn't spend the time at SimCity that I did at like other real-time strategy games.
Yeah. No.
Chris is a bracket teaser.
Yeah, you are.
All right, next one we got here is Max Payne versus Mass Effect.
Max Payne versus Max. What is it?
Mass
Effect.
So I have easily played every single game of both of those franchises.
I have not of Max Payne. I think I played the very first Max Payne. I've played 3 Mass Effects. How many are there?
3.
Oh, well then, yeah. I've played all the Mass Effects. I thought there was a 4th one.
I mean, Wait, is there 4?
1, 2, 3, and then Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played that. I've played a lot of Mass Effect though, and so this is kind of an easy no-brainer for me. I understand Max Payne came in with the whole bullet time stuff and like
Max Payne's a great series. Max Payne 3 was a great game. I think that's probably the one you played. It's a Rockstar game. They did Grand Theft Auto.
yeah, oh yeah,
Unbelievable game series. They made a movie, right?
yes they did with Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, great. No, for me, this is a no-brainer. Mass Effect is literally one of my favorite game series of all time. It's unbelievable. The
Yeah.
story is super in-depth. I care so much about the characters and the story and everything about it. On top of that, I love the gameplay because it takes a third-person shooter and mixes it with a RPG.
Right. Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda came out in 2017. I haven't played that. Mass Effect Legendary comes out 2021.
Yeah.
I've played Citadel, Omega, Leviathan. Those are the same
Mass
game.
Effect 3, I think it's 3 is my favorite of the series. It's unbelievable. I've played it 3 times through probably. You got to try it as different characters because you got to want to try to make the female characters kiss and all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but you get to, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure
Right.
game. A lot of text-based stuff. Unbelievable. I feel like I'm rushing how good of a franchise this is. I feel like I'm rushing through it, but it's definitely Mass Effect for me. We'll talk about it more later. So
It really is easily a pick over Max Payne. Next bracket, we've got Contra versus Donkey Kong.
So this one's a no-brainer for me. I like Contra, fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a game, and as an old Nintendo game, I used to play all the time.
I'm pretty sure it had for old Nintendo. Craig should comment on this because I'm pretty sure we've had the discussion at work before about it, and I'm pretty sure the original like cheat code is like
The Konami code.
yeah, it's like up down, left
No,
right.
it's up, down, left, right, BA. Up, down, left, right, BA.
BA, and you could do that for Contra.
Yeah,
and get unlimited ammo.
Lives.
Ammo. I
Unlimited
thought.
lives. I think it was lives.
Okay.
Let me look it up.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I can't find it off the top of my head. But Contra, I liked it. I mean, the running, it was definitely, for the Nintendo days, it was like way ahead of other games.
Oh yeah.
But
It was
Donkey
fun.
Kong, for me, I mean, that's a no-brainer because at every period of gaming, except for maybe the most recent period, the Donkey Kong games have also been like way ahead of the curve. So like the early Donkey Kong, fine. But Donkey Kong Jr., that game
Oh yeah,
was
that game
badass.
rocks.
But then you go in like Donkey Kong Country and like
Yeah,
SNES and N64.
I forgot about
and
that.
I think they were like 3D platformers. Amazing
SNES,
games.
yeah, Super Nintendo. I played Donkey Kong Country on a lot. Yeah, for me,
And most recently, I've played the newest game on Switch. Cash has it. It's a great game. Donkey Kong games rock.
yes,
Easy.
I'm also picking Donkey Kong. This is an easy one.
I don't care for them as much anymore, but the cool thing I like about Donkey Kong is they're always platformers. So like side scrollers. And I love
Yeah,
that. I love side scrollers.
I do too, to a point. They can get old now to me a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I still
enjoy 'em.
love them. Like
Yeah.
I still play Mario all
That's
the
why
time.
Mario Odyssey is so good, the newest Mario game, because it's a 3D open world game, but sometimes in certain sections, you'll go through like a pipe and then you'll come out into like an old school side scroller. And then
Oh,
you
really?
play that for a while, and then you'll come out the other side of the pipe and you'll be back like in the 3D world.
That's pretty cool.
It's such a cool game.
I haven't played Odyssey.
Mario
at all.
Odyssey is an amazing game if people haven't played it.
Last one for this bracket. The left side.
Craig said, oh my gosh, we're missing so many things.
Oh man, select start for two.
Erica said Femship is the real command shepherd. Femshep
Is the real commander shepherd. Yeah.
Yes. We had that conversation with Erica not that long ago. Did you do the female shepherd or the male shepherd?
Did I?
No, that's what she was asking.
Oh.
I did the male shepherd.
I did too.
I tend to be one that when I get to make my own character, they're usually look as close as they can to me.
I do the same thing.
I know a lot of guys tend to have female main characters in their games, but I just don't. I try to make them look like me, usually with a scar, and that was before I had a scar across my face. My shepherd had a scar that went down from his forehead to his cheek, and now I have that same thing.
Basically.
I'm just wanting
You're
to
turning
live.
into
I'm
the
wanting
Mass Effect
to live
character.
that Mass Effect.
Up, down, or up, down, down, left, right, BA, start.
Maybe I didn't say the start, yeah. And Donkey Bongos for GameCube was the shit. Yes, they were.
Yeah.
And I had that. Well, I didn't have a GameCube, but my nephew did, and I played it. And he had the bongos. Did you ever have those?
I didn't have them, no.
Yeah, super fun. All right, where are we at? MLB games and Mario Party. Okay, this is a difficult one, too. This was a lot of debating, me and Jerry, back and forth for hours on this MLB thing. Originally, we were wanting to disqualify sports games in general because we've all spent so much of our lives playing sports games.
Yeah.
Like, they've dominated. And then we didn't feel like we could leave Madden off because it's so iconic. And we didn't want to really include baseball because we had played different series.
Yeah, you played the show, didn't you?
No, I did play the show.
That's a PlayStation game, though. I played MLB 2K.
And I played the EA series.
Yeah, which I don't remember what it was. Triple Play?
No,
that was an older one.
I played Triple Play.
Yeah, I did too.
MVP maybe. It was like MLB 99, MLB 98. I can't remember the names of them.
So, yeah, I played all of the MLB 2K series, and I sunk so much time into MLB games. I absolutely love them. Microsoft has gotten away from making any of these games anymore, but PlayStation's still making them, and this is why it drives me to want to get a new PlayStation.
Do you feel like you have the time to put into sports games, though?
I would at night. I would never watch TV again if I got a new MLB game for quite a while. For probably a year, I would be playing an MLB game because I would start a franchise. I would start like a management. I would start a dynasty.
That's what I did, man. That's what I did.
That's what I would do if I get a hold of one on a console at some point. But like I said, they just aren't making them like they used to. I
absolutely also loved RBI Baseball for Nintendo. Played the shit out of
RBI Baseball, yeah. I played a lot of that with
Triple Play as well.
Mario Party, obviously, I've had a really great time playing Mario Party with my brother. I used to go to my brother's house in high school, and we would play the crap out of Mario Party, a bunch of us, and it was such a fun time.
Mario Party is the closest video game equivalent to a board game you can get. It's so fun to play with a group of people. To play with a group of adults. It's so fun.
It is absolutely
fun.
It's the
best game to play with kids, by far.
The mini games that are inside there are incredibly fun. I remember we used to always say, I don't know why I remember these things, but we used to always say after we'd play a mini game or before, in order to start, you'd have to press A, and we'd always say pressing A, pressing A.
Yeah.
We would say that, my brother and I and my sister-in-law's brother, we would always just say that, and for the longest time, I didn't get it. I didn't get that it was pressing A. I just thought they were saying something, and then once I got it, I thought it was the funniest thing for the longest time, and I still remember that. But we played just an insane amount of Mario Party.
Yeah, me too. So the series of baseball I played with the MLB 989 Sports Series from 98 to 2005, 6, and then also World Series Baseball. I played both of those.
Worst type of baseball.
Never played 2K series ever.
Man, you're missing out.
Didn't come out till 2006. I wasn't playing baseball games anymore in 2006.
Well, that's silly. I was.
I know. For me, I thought this was a no-brainer. I thought I was going to pick Mario Party, hands down, no-brainer. But I'm going MLB.
Wow. That's a stunner.
Nope. I spent a lot of time playing baseball games.
So did I. I'm picking MLB as well.
Gary Gaetti.
I'm picking MLB as well. I want to pick Mario Party, but it's not to the depth of what I've done
It's
with
fun.
MLB.
It's a fun, light game, but
it's a party game. It's like for multiple people to play. You don't
wouldn't on my
sit down
own
and play Mario Party with the computer.
I would never. Yeah.
You would never do that. MLB, man.
I would do
like that. I said, if I got a hold of a brand new MLB game right now, I would never have a What You're Watching for the next year.
Well, don't do that then. That's it. That rounds out Snarf Madness, the East and the West for this week. Next week, we'll do the South and the Midwest. My picks from top to bottom would be GoldenEye, Quake, Tomb Raider, Batman, Halo, Spider-Man, Resident Evil, Knights of the Old Republic, Doom, Civilization, Legends of Zelda, Madden, Medal of Honor, Mass Effect, Donkey Kong, and MLB.
We're more similar than I thought for this side. I have GoldenEye, Command and Conquer, Grand Theft Auto, Batman, Halo, and Spider-Man, Tony Hawk and Tom Clancy games, Uncharted and Civilization. What do I got? Guitar Hero and Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, and Mass Effect, Donkey Kong, and MLB games.
Oh, and Erica says, frickin' MLB. She might have got screwed.
Oh, man. She did. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. I'm not like a huge Mario fan.
No.
I'm not. I like a lot of Mario games.
I'm a pretty big fan of Mario, but not to the point where it's going to outweigh.
I would never, if I was deciding to play a game,
yeah,
it would rarely cross my mind to sit down and play a Mario game. I have been playing Mario 3D World.
You have been a lot. Cash told me all about it.
Yeah, we just beat it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, but yeah, no. And Mario Party especially, because it is literally a party game.
That's the problem with it. That's the only reason why it doesn't win. Like I have a lot of fond memories and like nostalgia with that game because of how I played it. But again, MLB just
a lot of
the
mini games I don't even like. I'm like, oh, this one I gotta like cook stuff in a pot.
Oh, I liked all.
You like
mini
cooking
games.
the cubes of meat?
No, I mean there was others
brown
that
all four sides of a cube of meat.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. I love browning meat, especially with Mario. I was always Luigi, so me and Luigi browning meat in a pan.
Always Waluigi. Oh, Waluigi is number one. No, I'm usually Mario actually.
You are?
Yeah. Or
what a cliche.
Yeah, Mario or
Princess. Toad.
Whoever has the best dice, man.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The best dice?
Yeah, they all have different special dice on the Switch version anyway.
I don't remember.
Mario
I don't
Party
know if I've
8.
played it. I have played Mario Party 8. I have that.
I think it's 8.
Whatever.
Anyway, that is this week. Erica said she did well on my bracket.
That's good.
Literally, I upset myself on 3 picks that I didn't. I went the other way last minute.
That's unreal. Yeah. I can't believe that you did some of them that you did.
There would have been no way I'd ever thought that I would have picked Medal of Honor over Sim. But when I really sat down and thought about it, I had to realize that I was picking for nostalgic reasons, and the nostalgia wasn't even that strong.
It wasn't it's just as strong with the Medal of Honor.
Right.
Like you have like once you start thinking about it and visualizing like the game in your head when you played it as a kid.
I was watching myself play it.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I was
and
too.
I'm like,
that's why I brought up the rail car thing. I remember coming up to those big ass rail cars and having to blow them up and thinking like, I'm saving America.
I also feel like
world.
with that first Medal of Honor game, which was like around 2000, like I don't remember.
No, I think it was in the 90s, wasn't it? 99.
I think it was like quite a leap forward from what I remember about other first-person shooters.
Oh yeah,
like it looked gorgeous.
Yes, and you have a whole D-Day scene.
Yeah,
you have a whole getting off of the landing craft, running through the water, having to make it through the beach, blowing up the machine gun pillboxes and stuff. Like
It's a
That
cool
was
game.
awesome.
Way better than spraying fungicide on your crops.
Absolutely.
With a spray plane.
Exactly. And it was after Saving Private Ryan came out. So I felt like I was playing that movie. And then I always loved anything war.
Well, the other thing was I played a lot of SimCity, but I always ended in like horrible frustration.
Yes.
Because a hurricane would come through or like a tornado.
Yeah.
And take out like half your city that you've been building for 2 hours. And like trying to get your trains just in the right places and your highways and then connect your power station grid. And then all of a sudden a tornado
taken
blows
away.
up your nuclear power plant and everything melts down.
Yep.
That
sucks.
Immensely frustrating.
It is. And it's unnecessary when you can just play Call of Duty. Although not Call of Duty, Medal of Honor. And I had a lot of frustration with Medal of Honor sometimes too, though, because there were some parts I just couldn't get past. It'd take me forever to get past it, and I just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. That's what I would do. Sit in the bunk beds in my room, play PlayStation.
Oh, you had a TV in your room?
Yeah, I did.
Spoiled.
A little 13-inch at the time.
Nice.
It was awesome. I'd and it was right at the end of my bed, and I'd just lay there and...
Craig said, I think last year's bracket was easier to guess Jerry. I think this year Chris has the easier guessing.
Yeah, because you're picking really dumb, easy games.
I'm
like you're not really...
the correct picks, that's why.
Yeah.
Because everybody agrees with me, because I'm right.
Everybody should have known leading up to this, if you were an avid listener, that I don't have the same taste in games as you. No, we were kind of similar, but it is going... When we get down to the other rounds... You guys are going to get so mad at me for the things that I pick over top. And the next week, oh boy, there's going to be some doozies. Yeah. You're going to knock me out of this chair, I think.
That's fine. I already want to knock you out for picking Guitar Hero.
I love it.
A flash in the pan.
It wasn't a flash in the pan in my life. I did not play
legitimately one of the greatest game series.
I haven't played a lot of Zelda, and I pick what I like, man.
All right,
bruh.
So do you got any news since we're done with this?
There's just one news thing. You posted it on Facebook on our social media stuff this week, and that is that Disney Plus is finally going to release
Disney Plus
is finally going to release Black Widow on streaming, along with Cruella.
You mean the one they said for over a year that there's no chance they're going to release on streaming?
Yes, we are never going to stream this. This is a theatrical release only movie is what they claimed it was going to be. And now they finally realize, like, well, maybe we made a poor decision with this, and we need to get this movie out. They do need to get it out, but it is also, so it's going to be in theaters, it's going to be streaming, but it's still also with the Disney premium service where you got to pay $30 to get it, unless you have the Amazon.
Do you think they made a bundle on Raya and the Last Dragon, and that's what changed their mind?
I do.
You think they made a ton of money?
I really do. They promoted that movie really well.
They did.
And it looks very good from the promotions. Like I've always been very intrigued in that movie. Still haven't seen it yet, but because of the way it looks and their promotions.
Different, right? So people are more likely to stay home and watch a children's animated movie than they would be a Marvel movie.
But guess what? People are more inclined to stay home and watch a movie than they've ever have been.
Well, here's the deal.
I think we're getting out
Black
of that,
Widow,
but
I think there's going to be a lot of people
that want to go to a theater and see it.
There's going to be a lot, but there's also going to be a lot of people that are like, I want to see that, but not enough to go to a theater. I want to go to a theater and see it because she's not the A-list character. It's not Iron Man.
No, but also because Disney Plus is already giving us Marvel stuff on their platform, and it won't feel that much different than watching a TV show. That
people will be conditioned by then. They've already been conditioned.
Yeah, you've done all the WandaVision stuff. We're gonna have all of the Falcon and Winter Soldier,
which is only like
stuff.
5 or 6 episodes, apparently.
I thought it was 8.
I think I heard Kevin Smith say it was 6 episodes.
No, I think he only got 6 episodes to watch.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think, because I listened to that as well, and I thought that's what he said, but I could be wrong. I don't think they would do that short of a series.
He didn't get any to watch. He's watching them week to week.
Was it Mark then? Mark had episodes that he watched well before Kevin did.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. It's been released how many episodes there are, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's the only news that I really had. They are going to release it on streaming. Do you remember when? May, isn't it?
No, they pushed it back.
Oh,
it's gonna
again?
be they pushed it back to like June or July.
They need to quit doing that.
You're the one that had the article open.
I didn't have it open. I never opened it.
July 9th, and that also pushed back Shang-Chi, which is one that I was definitely looking forward to.
That's the one I'm really looking forward to.
So that's a bummer. I've really been looking forward to Black Widow, but I feel like the more they push it off, the less and less interested I get.
I have lost a lot of interest into watching this movie because I honestly forgot about it for a while. And then you posted that thing and I was like, oh yeah, like what the heck? Why isn't this, like, when is this coming out? And
just the fact that they pushed it one more time, it was like, it's like subconsciously broke the straw on the camel's back or whatever you want to say.
Doesn't it make you feel like they just don't have the confidence in it?
Or they don't care. They just don't care about if they're releasing it. Okay, if they're going to release it on Disney Plus anyway, then release it now.
What's the difference?
Because they want to wait till July when everybody's vaccinated. They think there'll be more people in theaters.
I don't feel like that's going to affect it.
I mean, we could have a great summer because they could be releasing bombs left and right.
Well, I hope that is the case.
Top Gun's coming out this summer, right?
There's a lot of movies coming out this summer, and honestly, what I'm most excited about, because Grady's most excited about it, is the Kong vs. Godzilla movie, and that comes out on the 31st.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday.
For free on HBO Max.
Yeah, I know. We're going to go. I want to go to the theater with him. I just really want to go to a movie theater.
6 episodes for Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That's so short. It seems so short to me.
I mean, I think they're kind of promoting it as like a mini-series. Yeah.
So that's all the news I got. Do you want to get into what we're watching? Because we both did watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, we did. I mean, sure. Yes.
Did you have any more news? I didn't.
No, I don't have any more news.
Okay. You got any more gabagoo?
I don't have any more gabagoo.
That's a good.
Give me the pep.
Yeah. I got to get the pep. You got to give me the San Marzano with the fresh, ripe picked tomatoes.
Craig says, I'm more excited about David Harbour than Scarlett Johansson. I'm excited about both.
Oh, no, I agree. He looked really good.
He does look great, but I'm a huge fan of Scarlett Johansson.
Well, yeah, as am I. But
so I'm excited for that movie.
What character is he? Red something? Red Flash, Red Crush.
Basically like the Russian Captain America.
Yeah, Russian Red. The Russian man.
I would have known this a year ago, but they keep delaying
the Red Hammer. Sickle and Hammer. Bearded Dragon.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian Leviosa.
Yeah, that's good.
Eternals is still coming out. That got pushed too, I think, though. That's like in November. And then we still get a Spider-Man movie in December, so...
I'm very excited about the Spider-Man movie.
Yes, sir.
Big time excited about Spider-Man. Those movies are so great. Tom Holland is the absolute best Spider-Man we've had.
Yeah. Although the one from Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales, was pretty good.
Well, yeah, but that was a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Like, I'm talking live action Spider-Mans.
It's really
Tom Holland
raining
is
outside.
Like, it is. I can hear it on the windows.
Okay. So,
pitter patter.
Red Jardinera, Craig says. Give me that red Jardinera over here.
Put that Jardinera on my beef, would you there, Vinny? Isn't that?
Yeah.
That's a good name, right?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Vinny.
That's his nickname.
Give me that pep.
His name is Vinny the Beef.
Vinny the Beef.
You got to go see my buddy Vinny the Beef over there. He's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best beef guy this side of New Jersey.
Say hello to your mother for me.
Red Jardinera. I like it.
That's really funny.
He's got the pep.
Does he ever?
So I've been watching 2 shows. One of them is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You want to talk about that first or last?
Let's talk about it last, I guess.
All right. There is one show I have been watching like more than anything.
I'm interested to hear this.
Quite a bit. I put quite a bit of time into it. I finished up Doom Patrol, as I told you last week or 2 weeks ago, and I didn't feel like the ending my itch was satisfied. Like I loved Doom Patrol season 2.
Do you have itches?
Yeah.
Okay. There's creams and stuff.
Jock itch.
There's like fungal creams you can put like in between your leg and your.
And I did find out. I was telling you, Doom Patrol ended on a cliffhanger. Mm-hmm. Apparently, that's because they couldn't film the last episode because of COVID.
Oh, really?
So they just decided to end the season. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
That's kind of crappy.
Whatever. So I just needed more. Like I was like
Give
a junkie.
more.
A junkie.
More.
So I'm like, where does a guy turn?
More.
When I'm out of DC entertainment. I've just watched Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I'm thirsting for more, Jerry.
I need to suckle from the DC teat.
So I went down the Titans. What do you call it?
Rabbit hole?
Rabbit hole.
Yeah.
The Titans rabbit hole.
The Titan Tunnel?
I started Titans on HBO Max. We used to have it on DC, but I don't think either of us ever watched it. I tried to watch a couple episodes a couple times. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to start watching Titans. So I am mid-second season now. I watched all of season 1. A couple episodes.
How many times has he said, F you, Batman?
A lot. There's a lot of cussing.
Okay.
A lot. It's very rated R. Titans. It's a rated R show. Mm-hmm. There's 2 seasons out. I'm about 2 or 3 episodes.
I thought there was 3.
I think just 2.
The 3rd is coming, though.
Soon, yeah. I had no idea what to expect. I have very limited knowledge of the Teen Titans or the Titans or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I watched some of the cartoon. I've read a couple comics here and there. I've actually read several comics and some trades, and I've read comics that they're in by proxy. I know a lot about Robin,
of course,
but that's about it. So I was interested to watch it. I will say I'm enjoying it quite a bit, although at the same time, I keep falling asleep every night. And it's not like, I don't know if it's just because it's late or it's not necessarily holding my attention
a lot.
So I keep having to go back and I'm skipping parts of episodes because I don't even want to try and find where I left off.
Yeah.
So I'm not like that hardcore into it. I was hoping, and I had that happen to me with Doom Patrol.
Yep.
Both seasons. But towards the middle to the end of the season, it wraps you up enough that you're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Titans never did that at the end of season 1. Although, again, they're doing some really cool things that's interesting. The guy who plays Dick Grayson and the character of Dick Grayson in this show is great.
Okay.
They have a really highly energetic and obnoxious Jason Todd.
Oh, really?
Who is just kind of like a piece of shit.
Perfect for Jason Todd.
And I really am enjoying that character a little bit. Raven, the main focus of everything is Raven. She's the main character. The whole storyline revolves around her 100%.
I didn't know that.
At least in season 1.
I love the character of Raven. In the cartoons, anyway.
I think that you would really like this show more than me.
I need to get into it.
They don't. What's the girl with the powers? Star something.
Oh, shoot. You're going to put me on the spot. Yeah, there's Raven, and then it's not Stargirl, but it's
Starfire.
Starfire, yes.
Starfire.
She's purple.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they don't give her either. They don't give her enough to do, or she doesn't do it well enough. I'm not really sure, but they have, I guess it'd be Wonder Girl, which would be like Wonder Woman's sidekick.
Yeah,
she's in there a little bit. She's pretty good. Beast Boy is in there.
Beast Boy is a great
he's kind of
cartoon character.
He's kind of obnoxious in the show. I'm not a huge fan of him, but they do have
he's an obnoxious
Hawk
character.
and Dove, all right, which I didn't know anything about.
I don't
these
know
characters.
them either.
I literally know nothing about these characters, but in the show they're this basically married couple.
Is it a playoff like Hawkman?
No, it's Hawk and Dove. They're a married couple.
Yeah.
They're crime fighters.
Okay.
Hawk is like they don't have any superpowers, really. They do in the comics, apparently, because I've looked into them.
Okay.
But in the show, I don't believe they do. He's just like a really athletic, like college football level athlete. but now they're a little older, right?
Okay.
And she was like a professional ballet dancer, so she's just very whatever. She's very good looking.
Okay. All right.
But I love everything about those characters and everything they're doing with these characters in the show, and the actors portraying them. They're doing everything perfect. He's like a middle-aged now ex-college football, ex-crime fighter, or current crime fighter, dealing with like the brokenness of his body and turning to drugs and steroids to keep him roided up.
Really?
But also drugs to keep the pain, the massive pain from all his injuries. And just everything they're doing with these characters is phenomenal. So I really enjoy that. Again, and everything they're doing with Dick Grayson, really good stuff. Although, obviously, the hate for Batman stuff wears on you, but they address that as the show goes on. A lot of cool stuff happening. There is Batman in season 1. Batman's in it. You don't get like a direct on, but they do some cool stuff with Batman. They actually show Batman. There's an actor who plays Bruce Wayne. Real old. So apparently he's old in this version of Titans.
Okay.
Didn't seem like who I would pick to play Batman. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of this show can be a little hokey. Fair enough.
Isn't it kind of teenagey?
Not really. No, it's not super teenagey. No, it's really made more for adults, I think. I mean, it's not the best thing in the world. Would I tell anybody you got to watch it? No.
Yeah.
Would you probably enjoy it? Yeah. Is there better things for you to do with your time? Probably. But I'm enjoying it. It's not as good as Doom Patrol. It's fine.
So would you say I should watch it?
I think that you personally would get something out of it, yes. I think you would.
Okay.
Craig said he watched the Teen Titans cartoon with Doom Patrol. There is an episode in season 1 of Titans that features the Doom Patrol, and it takes place in, the mansion.
Yeah.
It's got Larry Trainer. It's got Robot Man. It's got Rita Farr. Same actors. Some of them aren't. So it's got Brendan Fraser as Robot Man. The same person that plays Rita Farr plays her. Different chief.
Okay.
Kind of an evil chief. Different Larry Trainer actor.
Interesting.
That came out before the show Doom Patrol came out. So Doom Patrol was actually a spinoff of Titans, but I think they recast it and decided to do something a little bit different. Interesting.
That's still interesting, to see that they have some of the same people.
His introduction he was living in the mansion with the Doom Patrol. He was one of Niles Calder's kids, yeah.
Yeah.
And that all happens in Titans.
That's really cool. Yeah. I like how they join that together.
But then it doesn't really, because Doom Patrol changed and got a bigger budget and they did things differently. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're looking for it to scratch that Doom Patrol itch, I don't think that it'll do that for you. Is it fine thing to watch? Yes. If you're a superhero fan or you're really into Robins, because there's a lot of Robin stuff, or Raven, she's the main character.
I think I'm going to get into it. I might go home and watch an episode of it now. Is it an hour long or 30 minutes?
No, they're hour-long episodes.
Okay.
It's dark. It's brutally violent.
Love that.
Yeah, there's killing.
I love it. They would be killing people.
Killing, cussing, all kinds of stuff.
It sounds right up my alley.
Dick Grayson is affected, by his upbringing. He's angry. Now, at the end of season 2, I believe he becomes Nightwing.
Yes, I know that to be the case.
So,
which is cool.
Yeah.
Like for them to do a Nightwing show.
Well, first of all, season 2 is higher production value than season 1, sure.
Of course.
All of it's very high production value. Don't get me wrong. They spent a lot of money on this show.
Yeah, and they got really good ratings. Like a lot of people were talking about this show for the first season, and that's why they got a second one right away.
I think it'll do a lot better now that it's on HBO Max. Now, it's a Berlanti show. Greg Berlanti is the executive producer. You can kind of tell it's got
like
similarities in style for sure. Now, he's not the director and writer, but he's the executive producer. But similarities, but definitely it's R-rated. I mean, it's if you want to see those CW shows R-rated, this is it. And dark. And Batman oriented.
You're selling it to me, even though that you said like it's not something that you think is like jump out successful and awesome. But
I mean, I would watch Doom Patrol first. I mean, Doom Patrol is better, in my opinion. But
okay, well, let's continue.
Okay. Only other thing I watched was Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So I only have two things as well. One of them was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which we'll talk about. But the other one, you're gonna hate this because you're not big into racing and stuff. But there's a show on Netflix that's called Formula One.
I love racing.
Do you?
We've talked about this many times.
You used to like it, but it's not something that you like go to now, right?
No,
and honestly,
not much anymore.
So there's a show on Netflix called Formula One: Drive to Survive. I am not a Formula One fan per se. Like it's not like something I've really watched, but this show has made me very interested in Formula One. Not to really like watch them actually race, but just to watch the show. So this is the third season. It just came out this week. And I watched the whole season while I was gone. I was at some meetings in Rock Island this week. So I was in a hotel, and at night I would just watch these shows. And then
so
last
you had
night I watched
3 whole days of basically doing whatever you wanted, and you watched a Formula One documentary.
It wasn't 3 whole days. I mean, I didn't get back to my room because every night they'd have like this social hour that they wanted you to attend and have like.
Jerry got drunk.
No, I didn't really drink at all. Actually, it was kind of pitiful, but and kind of really boring. So I'd get back about like 7.
Craig said Jerry usually goes into his long Jeff Gordon story and forgets you like racing. That's 100% true.
Very true.
Yes,
Craig,
we all know he got a poster and from his wife and blah, 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 blah.
It's when we fell in love in 5th grade. Yeah. Life-size Jeff Gordon
Formula
poster.
One.
So anyway, I didn't know much about this sport, but watching this, it's like a docu-series. There is so much more involved in this than you'd ever know, and it's just all about money. Like just stupid amounts of money that they're throwing into
like
these
Andretti
cars.
money.
Yeah, more than Andretti money. Like now, it's billionaire money.
Like Mario.
There's yes.
Andretti.
There's literally billionaires that own some of these teams so that they can afford what they do. But apparently Mercedes is like the team to beat now. And nobody is matching what Mercedes is doing, and everybody is really aggravated about it. But it also follows these drivers, and the drivers and the teams and like their cars and what's going on. But the drivers, it is astonishing that not only are these drivers like really good athletes, like they take care of themselves really well, but they look like models. Like they're picking people that are just so good looking to be their drivers. Like, how is this possible? NASCAR's not like this, but Formula One is. And it's like peak Italians that would be like an Italian like model. They're like, well, you're going to drive a race car now. Come over here and we're going to train you for that. I don't know where they learned to do this because one kid was on there and they're all very young. I mean, like in their 20s racing these things, like the top of the line cars with so much money. And then one kid was talking about, oh yeah, I started with go-karts, race go-karts as a kid. How do you go from go-karts and then just jump into a Formula One car? You know what I mean?
Pretty sure you didn't go from a go-kart and jump into a Formula One car.
It wasn't very long because he was talking about when he was 12 running go-karts and now he's 22. So it's like 10 years later, what else were they racing though? That's what they don't describe.
I think you just get used to it. I mean, drive it enough. But I'm figure it out.
I'm just wondering, what do they race in between? Because like with NASCAR, you understand like they do like go-karts, then they'll do like maybe they race midget cars, then they go to dirt track cars, maybe they do trucks. What do they do in Europe before they get to Formula One? Because it's like the top of the top. I don't know what they do, but
I don't know.
It's very fun to watch. I enjoy it a lot. There's just so many ins and outs and drama between teams and regulations, and then the whole COVID aspect of things that happened with this last season that they talk about. It's just really fun to see these super powerful cars get driven by little kids.
Yeah.
And then the dynamics between the teams, because they're always worried about like this one team, I don't even remember what it was called, but they've got a pink car, but they revealed their new car for this team, and it looked very, very similar to the Mercedes car, and it was doing very well. And the year before, they didn't do well at all. But now this new billionaire got a hold of it, redesigned the car, and now they're doing really well. And they're like, I think they stole ideas from Mercedes. So it's very different in NASCAR where they're all very similarly designed. Like all the cars have to be the same. Like, so it's fair across the board. F1 is not like that. And they're like, you can do whatever you want to your car to make it better than everybody else. And that's why all this money is being dumped into it, because they can design whatever they want.
Bezos doesn't have a car yet.
And it's just really cool. I like it. It's something
Erica
fun to
says
watch.
Formula One racers. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la, yeah. No, for real. I said that every episode. Ooh la la, look at that guy.
Look at that guy.
A cool thing about these cars, though, is that they're basically laying down. So it looks like they just sit in there, you know. But when you see their seat outside of the car and them sitting there, they're legit like laying in the car with just their head poked up a little bit and then steering it.
You got to take the steering wheel off to get out.
You do. It's really neat. I got a lot of interest into this whole Formula One thing now because of this series.
Well, fair enough on that. I don't have any interest or care in the world about it.
I told you
I
that.
did really like
and then you argued with me.
Ford versus Ferrari movie. That was great.
Yeah. So why did you yell at me before when you're like, I like racing?
I do like racing. I like NASCAR racing.
That's why I said you wouldn't care about this, because I knew you didn't like anything with Formula One. You didn't let me finish.
Well, you said racing.
Well, this
I
is
do
racing.
like racing. I just don't care about Europeans.
Oh, gotcha. There's Americans in there too.
Yeah, actually, there's a long history of Americans in Formula One.
Like Mario Andretti?
Yeah. This is not a very American sounding name,
Not
though.
at all. Michael Schumacher is, though.
Yeah.
And there was one guy that was going to beat Michael Schumacher's record, because he's got the record for like 91 wins, or it's like 90 wins or something. And then one guy was going to get his 92nd, and he didn't end up getting it. Had to wait for the next year.
So the only other thing I watched a little bit, I'm not even going to talk about it. I started watching a docu-series about pirates.
Oh,
It's on Netflix.
I got suckered into that too. I thought it was an actual pirate show.
No, I thought it was a documentary, but it's just not very good.
It's not good. They have way too many acting scenes,
I don't like it.
and I thought it was going to be like another Black Sails.
Yeah,
I
and
was
I'm like, I got it.
I'm
I
into
get,
that.
I get it. We understand. We've already talked about this in the podcast.
We've discussed all about
like
piracy.
at length.
Yeah.
Everything they're talking about, it's known by me already.
We know it, okay?
You know, they had early democracies and they freed slaves and they were
Yeah.
actually very progressive for the time.
Yeah.
There were privateers and the British Army hired them. The British
And a lot of times-
hired them to basically ransack Spanish ships.
Yeah, and a lot of times they were actually nicer than like actual countries.
For sure.
You know, like they had a better living condition some of the time.
They had a code, Jerry.
They did, a pirate code.
Piracy laws.
Blackbeard.
So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We don't have time to talk about it anymore.
Well, we don't have much time, and there's not much
Which
to talk
is not
about.
much to talk about it. Let's first reactions, no spoilers. Episode 1, what did you think?
First reactions on episode 1, I was blown away right off the bat for the quality of this. Like,
Unbelievable production quality.
this
is a movie.
They dump so much money into this. And when you think about it, though, if it is 44 minutes long, something like that, it's half a movie long. So why not? You know, and they're producing it as if it's longer than a movie. So
Right.
why not put as much money as you can into it and make it good? And it's wildly different than WandaVision. It starts off with a bang. This is a fast-paced.
Feels like a Marvel movie.
It does.
WandaVision did not.
No, not at all. And that's why I wanted to say it is very different, because it is a Marvel movie and they get right into the action right away. Falcon has an incredible scene in the beginning.
It's great.
And this is where you immediately know they dump money into it, because they blow up like 3 helicopters.
Yeah.
During this.
I don't think they'll continue at that level.
Probably
every
not.
episode.
They just wanted to draw you in.
Yeah, because they did bring the story down later on to smaller stuff, which is what I want. I mean,
Yeah.
the action sequences are great, but I want to get more in the head of these characters.
And they did that with Winter Soldier. I
And
mean, they did it
Falcon,
with
both of
Falcon
them.
too, but Winter Soldier's stuff that he's going through and like what he's doing in his
I've
life right
always
now.
been a huge Winter Soldier
Oh
fan,
my
so I'm really
gosh,
interested in that character. Falcon,
sucked in.
fine. I guess I'll give one little spoiler. There, one scene was just incredibly obnoxious to me, and that was the whole
money thing.
Yeah, it was so dumb.
I don't understand why they did this. So apparently, this is a spoilers here. The spoilers is that apparently Falcon has no money. He's been a huge hero, and he works for the government.
It's an absolute travesty that this pothole the size of fucking Cincinnati.
And I thought
they
might have thought this was a good way to. They had to have thought this is a good way to go. This is going to shock people, and they're going to be like, "Wow, how are they not being paid?"
It's kind of like a race thing. They're trying to make a statement.
Well, they did. They did try to make a statement, but
which is all fine. But nobody in the world is going to suspend their disbelief. You're already suspending your disbelief about superheroes, and you want us to believe that one of the Avengers
is off his ass.
Broke that a bank won't give him a loan. He couldn't just walk to freaking Pepper Potts.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's been working with Tony Stark, and I guarantee you,
Tony Stark's
Captain
got
America,
no fund put together for these guys. The government he's part of the Air Force.
Yeah, he was a colonel, I think, or at least a colonel in the Air Force.
And they make a lot of money, colonels.
He was making money with the military. Then he's working directly for the government as a superhero, as the Falcon. And they weren't compensating him at all. So you were doing this for free,
billions
out of the goodness
of
your heart.
Equipment on his back.
You're flying around, sacrificing your life out of the goodness of your heart. That's all you were doing it for. No money. It was very aggravating. I don't like that. I hope they don't follow that.
They're going to.
I just hope
it's
they don't.
It's just so obnoxious. I mean, it's just
Tony Stark had bajillions of dollars. You don't think he would have been like, "Oh, you don't have any?
It's
Do you want
established? He said it in earlier movies that he's paying these people
a couple million?"
It's a joke, and I just don't like how they try and manipulate things to make a story out of nothing.
Yeah.
To make some sort of storyline exist. There was a million ways they could have went around it, right? The sister could be like, "No, I refuse to accept your financial help."
Yep.
They could have done this, that, whatever. They could have done a million different things.
And honestly, that character would have worked really well by doing that because she said things like that to him earlier in the episode.
I don't know whether they're trying to set up the difficulty of black people to get loans, or they're trying to set up the idea that how do we deal with these people that have been missing for 5 years when they get into the real world?
Yes.
Both of those things are true, and they do make sense. That's a question that makes a lot of sense.
And he does bring it up
for every other person other than an Avenger.
Well, but the Falcon brings it up as well, though. He's like, they wanted to know his income over the last 2 years, and he's like, I've literally been gone for 5. It's I didn't exist for 5 years. I just came back. He's like, I can't show any of that to you. I understand that portion of it, but I don't understand why you don't have money socked away in your bank account before that 5 years. You were an Avenger, so
even if not, really you're making $100,000 at least a year working as a colonel in the Air Force.
Yes,
with no expenses because you're living 100% off. Tony Stark or the government or one or the other.
Right. So that was aggravating. But all in all, very good episode. I do absolutely love what they're doing with the Winter Soldier.
And yes, Craig, I did know that Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's kid is the spoiler hero at the end. Did you know that? That was Kurt Russell, his kid?
No.
Yeah.
I did not know that. He's kind of funny looking.
I have a whole what I'm watching. It's too late now.
It's too late.
We'll talk about it next week. But yeah, so I think we can accept a spoiler here because it's 2 hours in. Nobody's listening that hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
They did introduce U.S. Agent at the end.
It is U.S. Agent. It's like the new Captain America, right? He's got the Captain America
evil,
suit.
Right?
Yeah. He's got the Captain America suit, and they gave him the shield because Falcon had the shield at the beginning, because he was given it by Captain America, and then he returns it to the government. Which
leading a question of whose shield is it?
Yeah, and Kevin Smith brought that up. Who owns it?
I would watch a whole episode on the legal drama of who owns that shield.
So Captain America owned that. It was his. He had it made.
No, Howard Stark made it. So this is the workflow here. So that was made by Howard Stark, given to Captain America.
But there was a different one made, I thought.
No, I think Howard Stark made it.
But didn't they upgrade it to vibranium? He had a different shield, and then they upgraded it to vibranium. Oh.
So technically, who's vibranium? So, I mean, Mark Bernardin brought that part up. You know, that was stolen from Wakanda, I'm sure.
Right.
Or was it bought by the U.S. government? Or was it bought by Howard Stark? I don't know. We don't know. So we don't know that. It'd be interesting to find out, though.
It would, because that's who should be the rightful owner. And if Captain America was the rightful owner of that and owned it and gave it to the Falcon, then it's his.
I think it'd be hard to say that.
And he donated it.
Captain America wasn't the rightful owner after he possessed it and used it for so many years.
And he was hired by the government to do a thing, and he didn't get that until he worked for them.
Right.
So you would say that it would be the
U.S. government property, though.
And they say, like, when he gives it back, you're doing a good thing. You're doing the right thing here by giving this back. When I don't think he should have. It's going to play out to be a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's the storyline.
Interesting, for sure. I liked it a lot.
I did too. I think it's going to be really fun, especially once Falcon and Winter Soldier start working together.
I'm super excited for more. The other thing that I watched that I completely forgot about is I rewatched with Cash both Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Oh, man.
I'd like to talk about them more for sure. We don't have any more time tonight.
And Grady and we did start watching the 3 newest Star Wars movies again, because he wanted to keep watching Star Wars. We'd already watched the prequels, the original 3 trilogy, and then I was like, all right, well, we'll start it.
Yeah.
And so we watched
texted me the other day.
Force Awakens.
These movies are so good. Last Jedi is like the best movie in the world ever. It's the best Star Wars movie. That's exactly what you texted me.
I did it. I said, these are much more enjoyable than I remember. Like, the more I watch them, I think I'm removing myself from the Star Wars
Blasphemy!
world. I know. And you love Last Jedi. I didn't. But then
I don't love Last Jedi. I have a lot of problems with the movie. I'm just saying, of the 3, it's probably the most interesting of the 3.
And I wouldn't have agreed with you before last night, but watching it again last night, I think it's the 3rd time I've seen it fully, all the way through. And boy, I really, really enjoyed it. But I did say, other than what they did with Luke, I don't like Luke on the island. I don't like how he's just against everything with the Jedis. I don't think he would have shut himself out.
Stuff is ridiculous.
The casino is completely unnecessary.
It is like the peak wokeness of Disney.
You just don't even need it in the movie.
No, it's garbage.
So unnecessary. But
you do get Benicio del Toro's character.
You do, and he's great.
He's great.
I do really love Rey and Kylo Ren's storyline in that.
Yeah, it's good.
Their connection, when they fight and they kill Snoke, and then they fight the guards, and it's all of the things that's happened, like that part, I was just like, man, that's really awesome. I do like when Luke comes back and shows himself to Kylo Ren so that, it gives them time to get away.
Beautiful scene.
It really is, and he's just so angry at him.
The red salt.
Yep.
It's amazing.
I kept telling Grady, I was like, pay attention to the red salt. He didn't, but I explained it to him afterwards.
I like how people had a problem with that movie initially, though, because a lot of the plot point is they're running out of fuel.
Well, right.
And they're like, what is the fuel in Star Wars? I'm like, fuel has been around in Star Wars forever. If you don't know about fuel in Star Wars, you don't know about Star Wars.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Just because they didn't bring it up in the other movies, it's all over in the video games. It's all over in the books. It's all over in everything else.
Yeah, I mean,
these things run on fuel.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
Yes, we are going to run out of fuel. We don't have time, to keep doing this. We have to make a decision. that makes sense to me. Like what the position that they were in.
You
I
could
think
say
it's
that they shouldn't have fuel because, like, we can run off nuclear submarines that don't require fuel.
Yeah, exactly. And you just have like a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah, which you definitely could have in the Star Wars universe, but
in
it
space.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because fuel is referenced in Star Wars.
Yeah.
All the time.
I tell you what, The Last Jedi does have a scene that I think is one of the coolest out of any Star Wars movie, and it is when she jumps to light speed.
Yeah, and that's a huge, huge plot hole. You know that, right?
What do you mean?
Well,
what's the plot hole about?
The plot hole is that if that is possible, this is a huge problem people have with the movie. If that's possible, the Holdor maneuver, whatever, where you jump to light speed through another ship to destroy it, either that's the first time anybody's ever thought of it, or else it's ridiculous that it wouldn't have happened a million more times before that. Like, why wouldn't they have just jumped through the Death Star?
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, because
it's a huge plot hole.
People don't want to sacrifice themselves that way.
Bullshit. If you could have jumped an X-Wing through the middle of the Death Star, 1 billion people line up in line to do it.
Yeah.
So it's a huge plot hole. Either she's the first person to ever think of it, which seems like a stretch.
They have a name for it.
Yeah, named after her.
Oh, it's her name?
Yeah, it's her name.
I didn't realize that. I didn't even think of that. Either way, I just thought it's really cool visually. Even if it is a plot hole.
Movie.
It's visually really cool to see that happen. And I remember being in the movie theater and the sound that they had with that, like that, I don't know, just that boom, like it was awesome to hear. I remember it. So I did enjoy it. Are they wildly good? No. Would I still argue that you don't even need to watch them because I don't want them a part of the whole Star Wars world? Yeah, I would say that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But it was really fun to watch, and I love that. I love that Grady.
They can be entertaining.
I just want Grady and all of my boys to have this like love for Star Wars, like I do, and he's getting that. So I'm not going to hold back a movie that he wants to watch.
So this is like the first time with Cash, now at his age, that I really feel like I've been able to like sit down and me and him watch and enjoy something together.
Yeah, and so that's what we're getting right now.
We had it's like, where do you start, right? This just happened, and I decided to start with Guardians of the Galaxy because they're super entertaining. He's seen them before. He loved them when he was little. He doesn't remember them now. But they're very entertaining, and they're, in my opinion, like a gateway to that more than to Marvel. More to Star Wars than Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
So we watched both of them, and he loved them. He watched every minute of them with me. I had a great time. And I have to do a little take backseat. And this is something I've been steadfast in.
No way.
And you've argued with me multitudes of times about.
I have.
I have always placed Guardians of the Galaxy 1 over 2.
Yep.
Although I've always had both in the top 5 for my top Marvel movies.
Sure.
But I always argued that the first one's better because it's a better balanced and paced movie, but it's also just the first, so it's worth something. If you watch them back to back, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is such a good movie. It is a very superior movie.
I never thought I would see this day.
It is. It's a superior movie. It's so good.
We have rankings.
So ridiculously good.
We have rankings. We have had brackets.
Yeah, I know.
And I have that movie at the top.
Yeah.
And you belittled me, tore me down.
I've never belittled you. But
ripped the balls from my body.
I just had 1 over 2.
Right. You did.
But it's the other way around.
It is the other way around. I've always thought that. They're both super fun, but man, 2 is just out of this world good.
Well, it's better on every level almost. It's funner.
I've always said there's just
more fun, I should say.
Yeah.
It's more fun. It's funnier, but it's also deeper.
The story. Oh my gosh, the story in that movie is unbelievable. Like the connection with his dad, he's just like so happy to finally have this connection with a parent after he's lost his mom, and then he's terrible and he has to make the decision to like not be part of a god and like remove himself from that because he's so bad. It's just, come on.
Top to bottom, that is a fantastic movie.
Dirk said a few minutes ago, petrol is key.
That's right. So that's it, guys. That's it for this week. Snarf Madness 2020 round 1 is over. I hope you did well.
Yeah, we're going to find out. We'll score the first round.
I wish we would have got more
weeks.
brackets. I feel like we got less brackets than we normally get. But
yeah, I think we're on par with an average, but I think it is less than last year. Yeah. That's sad.
For such a fun bracket.
It's the best one. It's the best one we've done.
Way more listeners now. I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense to me.
They just need to be a little more interactive.
Maybe, not everybody's into video games.
No, that's
Most
true.
people I have talked to have been like, nah, I'm not into video games. That's fair. More people are into movies than video games.
Yeah, you're right. It is fair, but like we've said before, it costs you no money and you can literally
Craig
write
said
down whatever
best
you want.
soundtracks of all Marvel movies. Well, that's no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I will say Guardians of the Galaxy 1 has a much better soundtrack than 2. 2 is great, but
2 is great, but 1 is
unbelievable.
Better, but I do love the brandy.
There are certain scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 that I will say are amongst the best scenes of movies that are better than scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 by far.
Yeah.
But
I can understand.
like, especially like initially when he's on that planet, like the very beginning of the movie where he goes to that planet, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
and
and
he starts dancing, and then that whole
shooting
sequence. And then after that, there's all the action of these guys trying to shoot down his plane, and he finally gets out of danger, and the chick pops up.
Yes.
That's in his bedroom and is like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an amazing sequence.
Yeah.
That's a better sequence than anything that's in the second movie.
I would agree.
But as a whole,
And it's a great setup for what type of character you're dealing with Star-Lord
yes,
and Peter Quill.
it's as a whole, this whole second movie it's nearly flawless.
I just don't understand how you didn't see it before. How did you never see that?
I've gushed about Volume 2.
You've gushed about Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes.
No, I've gushed about that movie, how it's a small movie about family.
Yeah.
You've made an intergalactic blockbuster, and then you decide to willingly pull back and make a smaller movie about family and what it means and what it truly... I've gushed about this movie. I thought it was amazing. I've just always placed it behind the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. All those movies, that franchise, for me, has always been at the top of Marvel's heap.
Yeah.
Both movies.
I understand that. I'm saying I don't know how you haven't seen that it is better.
I don't know if I think that the nostalgicness of the shock of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and how good it was, it held a lot of weight for me.
Okay.
And, as amazing as Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is as a movie, you don't have that same shock when you watch it.
No, you knew
as
it was going to be like a good thing.
right, and you knew
because you already enjoy these characters.
You had no idea
so much.
going into Guardians of the Galaxy. I had no idea what to expect.
No,
nothing.
we
I knew
didn't.
nothing. I didn't even know the characters.
I know.
I knew
them, Peter Quill and Star-Lord.
I had seen the characters in cartoons.
And Groot and things like that.
I had seen them in cartoons.
But I didn't know anything about the storyline. Yeah, you're right. And it does blow you away after seeing that. I understand that point. But either way, I was smart enough to understand that number 2 was better.
Well, you were right. So,
thank you.
For Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I am Jerry.